Portions of the program may be unsuitable for younger or more sensitive viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
You're a Negro.
No.
I am your teacher. You are a Negro.
No.
Suppose I threatened to beat you. What would you say? Aren't you a Negro now?
No.
What are you?
I'm black and beautiful.
What is your nationality?
My nationality is Afro-American.
Suppose I had some money in my pocket. Suppose I gave you $1 to say that you're an American Negro. This is money now. Money talks. Money talks. This dollar. And if you don't say it, you don't get it. You're an American Negro, aren't you?
No.
You won't have any money. You know you need money, don't you?
Yes.
You need money to live, don't you?
Yes.
All right. All you have to say, Leon, is that you're an American Negro.
Hey, how's y'all doing, everybody? Again, this is your host, the most hated show in the black corner of YouTube. I am your host, Mr. Blow Your Minds, and welcome to the most hated show, as I just said, in the corner of black YouTube. Once again, I want to say what's good, everybody. Should be having to be up in the house. It looks like Little Uter should be up in there, as I should see. Hope that my mic is sounding well and my volume is good. No, it's been a long time, but you know what they did to a brother, as always. You know, they go back in my archives and look for things, and they say, we're going to penalize you for that last bit. So you know what they did? They put me on the bench. You know, I had to watch the game, sit on the bench. But I'm back, okay? But you know how it is. It's hard to work over here. Been in the business going on 9 years, y'all. Can't get past 100. So what am I talking about? What am I doing over here that they don't want us to know about? So, first and foremost, I want to say good to everybody. Pass by, you happen to pass by, this is the most hated show in the black corner of YouTube. Go down the aisle. A lot of stuff is a little bit outdated. Been around been a while, but you can go down the aisle, see some things, happen to see something, make you feel some kind of way. Remember, my show is the truth. Don't need no partner. Now, I have been gone for some period, based on, again, I had got banned about a week. For those who had seen that video where, I think it was Nana, what was his name? He was talking about some things, again, dealing with this, this epidemic or pandemic, right? And some of the things that he stated about that he got off the official website, I just replayed what he said, but you penalized me for what he said, even though that it did exist. But you said based on the guidelines, they decided to say, well, no, we're going to penalize you and you're going to sit on the bench for a little while. You know how they've been doing, a lot of us over here. So I had to do that after I was just on that particular day when that took place. I was just about to come out with some stuff, so I had to sit on the bench with it. So based on me sitting out, I'm going to collectively put it all together because a lot of things have happened over the last week and a half, right? And I've been just kind of wondering, like, is it me or have y'all noticed it too? Have y'all noticed that it seems like everybody seems to be distinction because, again, this does not, separate us, or they say we're being divisive. The point I'm just saying is that black Americans particularly have some things that seem that just make everybody unease. And so sometimes their true feelings come out. Even though I think we have some of the most generous people on the planet. No one will allow you to come into their home, eat their food, sleep on their couch, in their bed, watch their TV, bring your friends along, and everything always gonna be all good with us, right? So over the past week and a half, I heard so much and watched so many different shows that some things kind of irk me. Now, again, a man is going to take care of his business, but from my observation, what I've seen, I want to address, because that's some of the topics that I do as a whiteologist, right? I look at certain things and then I try to figure out, well, why did you say what you said, right? Now, many of y'all watch a lot of different shows out here. And this one particular show was on, I think it was on, was that Tariq? I think it was Tariq Nasheed's show, right? I think there was a little issue he had with some, I'm going to say, I don't know, can I say sister? I don't know if she was a sister or not. But based on what went in there, I want to use that as the beginning part where I'm going to go with today's show. But before I go there, you know what I got to do. I got to show what the thumbnail is, right? Gonna show that thumbnail for me there, sir. So you see on there, some of y'all might have got clicked on based on the fact that you see on there, right? This is Black Minds News Report. Today's date is February 18, 2021. War to bury the American blacks. Let me say that again. War to bury the American blacks. Now you see some individuals there on that thumbnail there. Some of them are going to be, most of them going to be the topic, except that one further one to the right over there. Right? But everybody else can see the cat in the back there with that big cheese on his mouth. I don't know if y'all heard though, but none of this is like personal. You know what I'm saying? It's just we as, you know, black people being part of social media, the black media. I know I'm not as consistent as others because I've been ostracized more than them because, again, I did the video back in April 1st of 2014 called Extinction of the White Race. That video went about 300,000, which would be considered viral in the black corner. And once it got about 300,000, they decided, we're going to slow it down, then we're going to park it, then we're going to remove it, and then we're going to shadow ban you. Then we're just going to say nobody can see you no more. So since then, I've been struggling, right? But I ain't even in it for that. I'm here just to do what somebody got to do. So that's what I'll do. So anyway, that's what the thumbnail is on there, right? Now, again, everybody will say black is black. You black, I'm black. You can see our skin. We all say we reside from Africa. And so why is there any division, or why are you being divisive? Is it really us that's divisive, or is it people, again, as I said, my analogy, coming into my house, eating my food, and acting as if like now you want to write the rules and regulations to how the game goes instead of learning how to play. You know what I'm saying? Somebody come in playing some kind of game and don't know the instructions and just trying to go according to it. And they say, hey, man, that ain't how that go, man. That ain't how we move that. That ain't how that go. Read the instructions, right? So again, this here was this was a situation that I'm not really addressing the situation. It's more about what had been said. Again, that's where we're going to go to show where's this war coming in with people who seem, you know, you would think they on your team. So what are you talking about, Mr. Blue? Let me go ahead and show y'all this, and I'll be right back. Check this out.
So here's a response I got in reference to my video where I said that white people are not inherently racist. Tariq here says you are Nigerian, so you are not a foundational black American, nor are you qualified to represent foundational black American issues. Now, for those of you who aren't well versed in woke terminology, a foundational black American is a black American who is descendant of slaves. Tariq here coined the term foundational black American, and just to keep you all in the loop, it used to be you can't talk about black issues unless you're a person of color. Then it was you can't talk about black issues unless you're a black person of color. Now you can't talk about black issues unless you're a black person who is descendant of slaves. So Tariq and I corresponded back and forth on Twitter. You're welcome to check that out if you would like, but let me go ahead and summarize my point of view. I am an American. I speak on American issues. I will continue to speak on American issues in the wake of you trying to invalidate my opinion based on my ethnicity. And I would love to say that it is baffling to me that you have any sort of support for your opinions, but this is the new America that we're living in, ladies and gentlemen. So here's an interesting response I got in reference to my video where I said that white people are not inherently racist. Tariq here says you are a Nigerian, so you are not a foundational black American, nor are you qualified to represent foundational black American issues. Now, for those of you who aren't well versed in woke terminology, a foundational black American is a black American who is descendant of slaves. Tariq here coined the term foundational black American, and just to keep you all in the loop, it used to be you can't talk about black issues unless you're a person of color. Then it was you can't talk about black issues unless you're a black person of color. Now you can't talk about black issues unless you're a black person who is descendant of slaves. So Tariq and I corresponded back and forth on Twitter. You're welcome to check that out if you would like, but let me go ahead and summarize my point of view. I am an American. I speak on American issues. I will continue to speak on American issues in the wake of you trying to invalidate my opinion based on my ethnicity. And I would love to say that it is baffling to me that you have any sort of support for your opinions, but this is the new America that we're living in, ladies.
All right, we are back, right? So, that was an incident I had seen on Tariq Nasheed's show, and he had talked about that him and this individual here had got into it, right? But it's not so much about what they did. I just it irks me that people, again, seem to not understand certain things, right? So, I remember back in, you probably do as well, you've been around for some bit. Remember about September 20th of 2001, remember when President Bush had addressed the, I think it was the joint session of Congress, right? And he had said every nation in the region, that says they all had a decision to make. Either you with us or you against us. Let me say that again. President Bush on September 20th, 2001, which would probably be 9 days after September 11th, he addressed the joint session of Congress, and he had said to every nation in every region, he said, the decision is yours to make. Either you're with us or you're against us, right? Now, that makes sense, don't it, right? If you unified and you with us, again, when you think about it, when you talk about allies, right? People who supposed to be allies. People like using that term, right? So allies is like coalitions, right? When you think about a coalition, there's like a union or partnership, or there's a affiliation with, us together, right? There's supposed to be also this association. We're supposed to group together, right? Right? Maybe there's a treaty amongst us, and at the bottom of the core of it, we should be at least family, right? See, everybody like to use the term, I'm black, but maybe your black isn't like, on home team. Maybe your black is a little bit off, right? Maybe if I come to your house, and you say, when I knock on the door, leave my shoes outside the door and come in, right, like that, or you got some kind of rules that you come in and you greet and kiss or whatever it is. You know how sometimes people do what they do. But those are rules for your house. So how does somebody who will, let's say, gotta gripe with an individual or person or a group of people, based on the simple fact that they say, well, I want to just assert my opinion. Now, everybody, they say opinion is like a booty hole. Everybody got one, right? So you got one, right? So, but it's more than just that. I'm going to start off with this here because, some people say, well, she's not significantly make any, talk about. It's not really per her, but she represents peoples, not just her. This idea, this mindset that certain people, they feel that way amongst us. And she said that that whole ordeal took place is because she had said that white people aren't inherently racist. The white people aren't inherently racist. Now, you know, they say you don't supposed to say all of them, right? But this is kind of like subjective, and maybe your own interpretation of things, right? Right? You know, that's an individual thing. That's your experiences, right? So if you're going to talk in group talk, then I think it would be coming on you to actually understand the instructions and rules of the game and the histories of it, right? To say that, it seems like we find so many people who are always trying to get certain people off of what's been done to us. Everybody seems to be more offended because we make noise, we rebuttal some of these things, we refute some of these things, you get what I'm saying? And so people become agitated and angry and trying to make it seem like something is wrong with us. And then they'll say some things like to what she said that, you know, that somehow he being a FBA, Foundation of Black American, and that she said it used to be. Now, I think somewhere in that conversation, it talked about she was a Nigerian, right? But, you know, right off the bat, she said, well, I'm American. Now, okay. Now, how many of y'all know when somebody says, I'm American, and you look at them, they look like the skin you in? I'm an American. Yes, that is the homeland we lived in, or we live in, and that is the lineage, right, that we've been in. But been over here long enough, you know the difference between American and then you got a hyphenation on your American like everybody else got one. So when somebody come in here and try to say, well, American, already suspect, right? It's not us denouncing our homeland, because this is our home. We built this. Fuck what you heard, right? So anyway, and so she goes on and she talks about how, you know, that it used to be. I don't know. He didn't look too old to me. What are you talking about? It used to be that, you know, a black person couldn't talk on black issues and a colored person could. What you talking about? All them prior to even now is the same damn people. Ain't no different damn people. These are the same damn people. Only thing is new here is maybe you and how you got here, right? But they all got some stick in their back about how we don't seem to want to, we don't want to be in the same mindset as you do and how you feel. It's kind of like how you seeing today with all this stuff with this this propaganda and this big thing to try to get us to, you know, kumbaya and just forget about what you done did and just put that to the side and we're trying to do what's best for you. You know what I'm saying? I can't say it, right? You know what I'm talking about. You can't say it, but, right? And we're not probably apprehensive about none of the stuff. Just throw all that away, like. But that's our peoples. Everything that this history talk about, them our people. They ain't. We got some hyphen somewhere else, geographical location. This is our land from the people that the soil, blood, and sweat that is inherently was equitable in this country due to that. Even though everybody want to just say, why y'all still holding on to that? Are we gonna hold on that? Or we gonna always hold on to that? So let's look at some more of this, man. Because I know it's kind of this, but this is where I'm gonna start off with here, right? So she says, speaking on American issues, about her opinion, right? But the question becomes, y'all, this is what we gotta have to do. We gotta have to look at it and say that, can somebody have opinions on black issues that has nothing to do with those of indigenous, native, or autochthonous, right? Autochthonous, right? You know what I'm talking about, right? Can somebody outside have an opinion that's more valid than those people who know the ins and outs of something? You know, because a lot of people seem to be Got that? Like, that's a blurred line. Just because I'm born here and I can say I'm an American or from the United States. Now, sometimes y'all gotta, pump them brakes and shut your mouth. Learn the game from those. Otherwise, you actually trying to build your own game, right? Now, the other question becomes, Black Americans, is this an all-exclusive or is this a selective group? To be Black American in this country, is it all-inclusive or is it a selective group? Now, some people say that's divisive talk. Is it divisive talk? If you have another homeland and you come amongst somebody in their homeland, but you denounce your homeland and embrace the new homeland as if this was your original homeland, who got the issue here? Is it you or is it me? You renounce where you came from, right? Because it's kind of funny how, again, don't take this in the wrong way, some folks who might just be hearing me. When they were saying shithole countries, it's funny how everybody's very offensive to it. But don't nobody want to take their ass back to fix their shithole ass country. Do I need to say that again? They were saying shithole countries, right? They're right, them shithole countries. And so, but they're offended when you say that, but they ain't in no rush to go back and fix it. I wonder why that is. That's a question. Do your birth automatically make you have authority in this country? Just because you born here, does that give you, like if you got a job, seniority? Do you got seniority over the previous employees? Or you get back to the back of the line and wait your turn? Because it seems like everybody seems to be bum rushing to get in position, trying to grab the bags and get in the position and getting legislation. And here, Black folks, for all of y'all who went out there and voted for them who up in there now, right? Kind of looking a little dumbfounded now, right? The boogeyman scared you. Told you it was going to be better. He going to do right. Stay tuned. You're going to see. You're going to see, right? So, is Black Americans, is this a lineage, bloodline? Right? Is that what that is? That's what it is, bloodline, right? So, she never addressed the fact that she was a Nigerian. She jumped over there and said, well, I'm an American. Okay, so I feel like you're kind of hiding something. So, in that hiding that you're doing, you didn't want to disclose something, but you feel like because you're here that your opinion and those who have long lineage history from our Akashic records from within us and our experience of our lifetime now, that somehow that what we think and how we see things, everybody want to make us seem like we don't know what the fuck we talking about. It's crazy. It's the craziest shit, right? It's crazy. So I seen this as well. Right? I know y'all probably seen this. Let me show you this, man. Right? Y'all see this? Candidate for Michigan governor wants to end Black History Month. Let me say that again. Candidate for Michigan governor wants to end Black History Month. Can you believe that? Right? All the shit in here that you could be dealing with. But you want to poke at Black folks. You want to say, I'm going to run on this. I'm going to run on this. So anyway, it's this Michigan, I guess he's going to be the next governor trying to run. And then she's going to use this campaign promise to end Black History Month in Michigan. Only in Michigan, right? And then he was quoted as saying that we don't need to have a multiple history month for Black History Month. We don't need to have multiple history month for Black History Month. We got multiple? We got multiple months? Damn, multiple. We do? Oh, let me go through a little bit for you. He says, now he goes on and says that any other History Month for that matter. So he's saying none of that need to be. None of that needed to be. You know why? It shouldn't matter. It's American History Month. See? If you've been here long enough, and when certain people speak, again, like myself, when I hear some people talk that they'll try to disclose something, it always seems to come out in your wording. Right? American history. Really? See, I could tell you brand new here. Right? I could tell that you brand new, but, somehow we're going to figure out why people do this, right? Anyway, he says, this American History Month because that's what binds us together. Really? We've been here 5 centuries? We've been here 5 centuries. Shit. Even if you put some damn Gorilla Glue on that shit, it wouldn't bond. Even if you put the Gorilla Glue, I bet the Gorilla Glue couldn't even work on trying to bond what happened between us and those, the imaginary that the people don't even exist anymore. Put some Gorilla Glue on that, I bet that shit can't hold it. Shit, you wouldn't have to go find nobody to go put in that shit. That shit wasn't gonna stick like damn. I thought I had the bond on it. It don't work. Don't work over here, right? So his name is Austin Ching. Austin Ching, right? Now, accordingly, they say he don't have no political background and says getting rid of Individual History Month is what Michigan needs. Now, Michigan had a problem with the election, didn't they? Okay, but they don't need it, right? Okay. He said we first must understand that we're Americans. Who are you talking to? They got this time people run out here talking about they patriots. Who more patriot than the black American? I'll wait. Who's more patriot? Without our input, where would y'all be? Without our input in them wars, would you have won? But everybody, Johnny come lately, got something to say to add, like, we put in so much now. We need legislation because we're getting harassed now. Those people, was it San Francisco, something like that? Chinese people were there, right? Oh, we're getting harassed and we need legislation. Shh. Hundreds of years late because we still waiting on that one too. But damn, soon you get in there, and yet everybody was, black women's the one that got you in there. But yet, all the stuff been written. Where you at? Where you at though? Nowhere in there. So he said, if we have returned to our individual groups, where we come from, then it's absolutely polarizing. Nothing is going to be done. If we return back to our own groups, wait a minute. Let me get this on, because there's something I'm not understanding. Maybe y'all understand this. When did this become the free fall, all everybody come country? When did that happen? Did we fall asleep? We must have fell asleep. I understand immigration, but damn, wait a minute. Let me give you an analogy. You got a house and you help feed the block. Let's say it's your Big Mama house or something like that. Big Mama, she be, back to cooking extras, having extra plates for people who hungry come through. All right, Big Mama feeding everybody on the block, but her own kids ain't eating. Her own kids don't even get to eat. What the kids in the house gonna start saying to Big Mama after a while? You feed everybody, but you ain't got nothing for us. I mean, you look good in the eyes of them, but what about our plates? Huh? Or this some Cinderella-ass story, right? Oh, anyway. But I'm just saying, right? But when did this country become? Because what happens is when people think, and you might be like that, or you may have done this, right? When you trying to be, devious and diabolical and sneaky and stealing and shit, right? You try to take some things and run with it when you know damn well that ain't what it meant. So somehow, somewhere, somebody done took this immigration and made this the immigrant country. Well, everybody here is an immigrant. We ain't no damn immigrants. We ain't never been no immigrants in this place. And that's why all y'all hate us so goddamn much. We the only ones who got our root planted in here. From day one, we've been here. You come here, and all of a sudden now we in the same category with you. You're eating more than us. You're taking more than us. And then y'all got this nefarious thing that everybody kind of don't really realize what's really going on here, right? So it's like, what's going on here, right? So everybody playing this game like this is what this is. This country was made of all immigrants. They ain't got nothing. Again, coming from where you coming from and coming here, this is where you go. What better life for me and my family? What about what's wrong with your place you're coming from? Why don't nobody know how to fix their own damn shit? Why ain't nobody putting in no damn work to get your shit right? Why ain't nobody can't do none of that? What happened to that? What happened to put in that? Pull up your bootstraps? Pull your bootstraps up and get it fixed and get it popping, get it right. That ain't what we're gonna do. No. We're gonna come up in your house and we're gonna tell you what it is, right? So this Austin Ching was born in 1986 in Nigeria. Let me say that again. This Austin Ching you see on your screen there, he was born in 1986 in Nigeria. So currently he's about 34 years old. Went to the University of Birmingham School of Law in England, right? Supposed to be a decorated military specialist. His parents are also Nigerians, right? They moved to Grand Rapids City in Michigan in 2008. And they say that his ethnicity is Nigerian American. Let me say that again. His ethnicity is Nigerian American. What does that mean? Nigerian is their country land and you come to America, right? So why is it that when black Americans say black person, when everybody come here, not everybody black, knowing damn well that your nation of origin of where you derive from, black is this, and I'm going to show this for those who don't know no better, that black in America means this historical lineage tied to going back. When you talk about slaves and all that other good stuff, that's them, not you. So how does a person who's born in 1986 in Nigeria and his parents come here and say out of his mouth, he wants to remove Black History Month? The mitigated gall. That's the mitigated gall you have to even curl your mouth to even say something like that. He also went on and said that he finds it unfair, offensive, and illegal. Let me say that again. He says he finds it unfair, offensive, and illegal. What about it? Why would Black History Month be unfair to you? Would it be offensive to you? Why would it be illegal to you? See, y'all don't want nobody real to talk to y'all. Y'all like to pay people who you put in front of you and say all the things that you want. But what sense does that make? Unfair? Why do you have Nigeria first as the nation from which you came from and became American? You see how people are so quick to denounce where they come from? And these are all the people we end up begetting, those people. Now again, I'm not here. I got and grew up and known people from all kinds of walks of life. But you got to call what it is and not try to act like it's not. How could you say that? How could you sit there and look like that and then, like, we ain't supposed to say nothing? It's all good, man. Yeah, go ahead and get rid of it. That's telling me you want to erase my lineage, my history, my peoples. Shit. Just because you can do that, pick yourself up, run yourself somewhere else, and start all over and, new identity. Right? So let me tell y'all something about, for some of y'all who may not know why. Again, remember, he came here in 86. He was born in Nigeria in 86, right? And then somehow they came here. Now let me tell you something about in Nigeria. Let me tell you something about what was going on in Nigeria. Now, there was a migration period in Nigeria, right? And it was the neighboring nations. It was about an economic opportunity that was going to take place in Nigeria. So they say around January of 1983, Nigeria, suffering from economic crisis, brought about a decreased earning from oil, ordered all residents alien to leave the territory or leave the country. They said some 700,000 Ghanaians departed from the following week, and did smaller numbers from Benin, Cameroon, Chad, Mali, Niger, the Tigris, and Burkina Faso in 1983. About 200,000 to 230,000 aliens were expelled, including about 100,000 from Ghana, 30,000 from Niger. Okay? So, what happened in Nigeria in the 80s, as I just told you, as he was born in 1986, but then eventually getting over here. Something happened in Nigeria where Nigerians told the aliens to get out. So everybody who might tell you they Nigerian may not be Nigerian. They might have been born in Nigeria, but they might have came from somewhere else. So let's just say a lot of people who we keep seeing, and people keep saying this, and then they sitting and they talking and all that to us, you better figure out what their history is. Figure out what their history is. Because otherwise, see, his bio said Nigerian. I'm wondering, is he part of the people who got expelled out of Nigeria? His family might have got expelled out of Nigeria. So they'll come and replant themselves, and then they trying to find a way, because it's offensive, unfair, because you don't got no history. See? You don't got no history. So everybody who ain't got no history that keep running up under us want us to be just like them. You understand? We don't got no comic book heroes. We got real life flesh and blood, flying, running with a football, diving, dancing, singing. Real. Y'all, who y'all talking about? You know what I'm saying? You graft on, cling on to ours, and then you be like, then you want to try to, separate us from it, and then you want to claim it too. Ain't that sick? Ain't that sick, man? Ain't that really sick when you think about it? That people come up under us and then try to bury us from our own so that they can take it. So I want y'all to understand that we are now in a land that was ours, that it seemed like, you know how you watch the National Geographics and they be showing all the animals and the dangerousness and how they show the tiger when they go out to get the gazelle. But that's how we are. You know what I'm saying? Everybody here to get something, to take something, as long as we don't get nothing. And if we say something about it, everybody else says, oh, you guys are being racist. We're all together. We're paying that. Yeah. Do that history, find out. They might not even be who they say they is. Ask them, what, you from, Nigeria? When you come out of the 80s? Do you come out of the 80s in there? Yeah. Then you in here, now you running for office, and the first thing you want to tell to try to get some people on your damn side, I'm going to get rid of Black History Month. I'm going to get rid of Black History Month. So that's the only way you can get some votes. You know what I'm saying? Man, it's offensive, man. It's very offensive. You want to be cool with people. You want to have coalition. You want to be down. You want to be brother with them. But they ain't how they acting with us. They're not acting like that with us. So let me ask you something, when you think about talking about taking away some parts of the history. Now, you want to take away January 20th, right? Which officially Martin Luther King's birthday is January 15th. So because I always want to make it on a Monday, sometimes for the 20th and so forth, right? So you want to take away Martin Luther King's birthday, right? And when you think about February, right, that we got a history month, a lot of people are offended. Why are you offended that a people who history is so atrocious in this country, and without them, where could you have run to? And the first thing you want to do is you want to try to do something to take something away from them. Even when you think about February, and everybody always tripped on the fact that, hey, February, that's the shortest month of the day. Why would you chance February? It's cold as shit. Why y'all got to damn February? Well, let's look at this. Now, February 1st is National Freedom Day. Huh? Because why? Of the 13th Amendment, right? You want to take that away too? That 13th Amendment that all the rest of y'all using now, but that was really based on between us and them. But now you want to take that away too? Okay. February 14th, for those who be celebrating all that candy, that's Valentine's Day, right? That's in February too, right? President's Day on February 17th. That's President's Day, right? You used to get, I don't know, did we get out of school for that? Back in the day, I think we might have got out of school for that. But anyway, President's Day is in February as well, right? You got Mardi Gras in February too, right? I think the 25th is on the Mardi Gras. What else you got in there? You got the Ash Wednesday that falls in February, right? So when you think about it, February has other days inside that month. We don't get a full month to ourselves. And then they don't, it's just, and look at the time and the season. You know what it is? If black people had a parade, you understand me? If black Americans could have a damn parade, y'all ain't seen no parade until you seen the Black American parade. And nobody want to see that. Keep them, they don't, huh? Could you imagine, y'all? Could you imagine Black American parade? Black folks, gators on foot, fedoras on head, zoots, you understand? Just cold looking. Just enjoying, huh? Man, motherfucker just sitting at home just mad as hell because they just looking like trying to find something to steal, huh? So y'all got to put you so you know you can't be seen. Put you over there. Nobody want to see that. Yeah, you don't want to see us with anything, right? So anyway, how about, why don't you take away, why did you say you'll take away that September 11th? I dare you to say that. I dare you to say, I'll take away the September 11th. Man, there wouldn't be a boat quick enough to get your ass up out of here. You know that, right? Matter of fact, let me show you how important that day is to certain people here. Let me remind y'all just in case y'all might have forgot.
Crowds marched in the streets around Ground Zero to celebrate the killing of Osama bin Laden. Among them, Army Captain Patrick Dowdell, just back from Afghanistan.
I'm proud of the guys that were willing to go out there and take care of business.
It didn't take long for news to spread after President Obama's statement late last night.
Let me say to the families who lost loved ones on 9/11 that we have never forgotten your loss.
USA! USA!
Times Square looked more like a party as hundreds took part in the celebration.
It's a great hour for USA, great day for USA.
In Philadelphia, instead of the game, baseball fans were glued to their phones. While some broke out in chants of USA, USA. New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg called the killing of bin Laden a critically important victory, and nowhere was that victory felt more than here at Ground Zero, where nearly 3,000 people were killed in the attacks.
Now that he's finally dead, it feels good.
Michael Carroll lost his father, a firefighter, on 9/11. He says bin Laden's death won't ease his pain, but it does bring some closure.
To feel excited about somebody's death is a weird feeling, but when it comes to him, it's all right.
For many Americans, this is a day they waited for nearly a decade. A moment some thought would never come. Randall Pinkston, CBS News.
All right, we are back, right? Yeah, go ahead. I dare you take that day away. You think that damn White House, Planet of the Apes attack of the damn White House was something, well, shit, okay, Reese's monkey of the attack. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. I dare you try that. They couldn't get a plane, boat, nothing quick enough to get you up out of here. But you won't come talk to, I'm going to take Black History Month away. You go right on ahead. You try it. Go ahead. Try it. So anyway, what's funny, what I want to show also too is, just to show you, that this cat, he was sitting here, he talking this, right? Now, let me do this. Yeah, show that for me, sir. There. Do go to that one. Right? Let's see this, right? You ever seen this book here? Races of Africa. That's a book. I own that book, but it might be hard for you to still get. But in that book, you know, you got to look at the fact of this. You know, we as black people in this country, right? And then there's this, right? Right? Census to replace Negro with black or African American. I don't know what the African American part. We're going to get to that too, but we was Negroes at first, right? We was Negroes at first, right? We were Negroes at first, right? But nobody never told you what, okay, you know, Spanish, Negro means black, Negro, all that, right? Then, was there landmass called Negro? I think it was Negro land, right? And then, you know, right? But let me show you what this C.G. Sligman, right, what he said, right? You ever heard of the true Negro? Who is the true Negro, right? Now, I'm going to go ahead, read this to you right quick. Check this out. Listen to this. The true Negro. Though the Negro is one of the most widespread stocks in Africa, no Negro skull of any considerable age have yet been discovered. Indeed, an accepted authority has written of the earliest appearance of the Negroes in history as taking place during the great period of Egyptian expansion. About 1500 BC, this, however, is scarcely accurate, or only become so if special definitions be framed for history and Negro. For on one of the great proto-dynastic slate palettes, dating from circa 3200 BC, are represented captives and dead with spiral hair and showing the same form of circumcision as in now practiced by the Masi and other Negro tribes of Kenya colony and Tanganyika. Thus, though there is not and cannot be any record of skin color, there is every reason to believe that these men were as much Negroes as many of the East African tribes of the present day to whom this name is commonly applied. Moreover, the first archaeological survey of Nubia brought to light a burial with typical Negro hair dating to the Middle Kingdom about 2000 BC. While 4 Negro women were found in a single cemetery dated as far back as the late pre-dynastic period, says about 3000 BC. Racially, Africa may be divided into 2 portions by a line drawn from the mouth of the Senegal River through Timbuktu to Khartoum, thence southward and westward to the Ethiopian border at about 12 degrees north. From here, following the western and then the southern borders of Ethiopia to Juba River, and from the Juba River to the Indian Ocean. The northern division is essentially white or light-skinned, inhabited by Hamites and Semites of European type. The southern essentially Negroes, with peoples almost everywhere characterized by their dark skin and spiral hair. But though this line marks out the northern boundaries of the Negro with a fair measure of precision, it must be realized that the term Negro includes at least 3 huge groups, each with its peculiar characteristics. Almost everywhere in this vast area, the Negro carries in his veins a greater or lesser proportion of Hamitic blood and has been influenced by Hamitic cultures. The true Negro is mainly confined to the neighborhood of the Guinea coast, including Nigeria and the French Sudan, with some parts of the Cameroons and perhaps the Congo. The rest of Negro Africa consists of Negroes Hamiticized to a varying extent. On the one hand, the Bantu, and the other, the Neolites and Nilo-Hamites. West Africa, the home of the true Negro, may be regarded as extending from the mouth of the Senegal River about 16 degrees north to the eastern boundaries of Nigeria. So, define its eastern boundaries coincide with the northernmost limits of the Bantu along the lower course of the Rio de Rey. Politically, no part of Africa is more confused, consisting as it does as a series of enclaves stretching back from the coast, each originating in coastal trading centers established between the 15th and 18th centuries and now belonging alternatively to France and Great Britain, with a single remaining Portuguese possession and the liberating Black Republic of liberated slaves to add to the confusion. It is necessary to establish these facts since they explain the origins of such terms as Slave Coast, Gold Coast, and render intelligibly the arbitrary divisions of the country by the powers irrespective of local ties or tribal associations. These enclaves from north to south and then western are Senegal, Gambia, Portuguese Guinea, French Guinea, Sierra Leone, Liberia, the Ivory Coast, the Gold Coast, Dahomey, and Nigeria, all extending inland and embedded as it were in that great portion of Africa commonly called the French Sudan. All right, so we are back, right? So that was out of that particular book there, The Races of Africa. And if you can find it, 1959, come from that C.G. Seligman, all right? He said some things in there that, according to of the writings of that particular time, he told you that the true Negro, right? Because remember, they called us Negroes, right? But no one knew where the hell they call us Negroes from. Where did that Negro? Oh, Spanish said Negro means negro, and negro is black, and right, that whole thing, right? But then he said something about there's the distinction in these groups in Africa, and talk about the Bantu, and there's the Negro, and they said something about the Caucasus. Now, for those of you who know your Bible and know about that story about Ham, Shem, and Japhet, now I want y'all to understand. You understand when I'm talking about burying us, right? Everybody been trying to bury our ass, right? That's just I just speak straight. I'm sorry, y'all. Some people might be offended. Oh, you cussing. I just speak straight, man. See, anything you play in between is just gonna be somebody trying to manipulate. I just got time to just talk straight with you, right? So he said, according to what he said, now, right? Let me show you what this cat looked like. Because remember, I showed you this here because our people, and I'm going to go into this too, which is, right, because our people had got to the point where we want to change our name, right, from Negroes with black, and then they were saying, or African American, but this is coming, that's later, that's going to be in the 80s. We're talking about doing the black coming, this is in 60s, right? But nobody never told you why they called us Negroes. So I had ran across that some time back. I had it for some time, and so I was like, okay. So let me show you this cat here. That's him right there, right? That's that Charles Gabriel Sligman, right? He was a British physician, an ethnologist, like whiteologist, right? He had described the culture of the Veda people of Sri Lanka and the people of Sudan, right? He was a proponent of the Hermetic hypothesis. Like a science hypothesis, I guess. Yes, so. So he was saying that some civilizations of Africa were thought to have been founded by the Caucasoid Hermetic peoples. Let me say that again. He was a proponent of the Hermetic hypothesis. Some civilizations of Africa were thought to have been founded by Caucasoid Hermetic peoples. Hamite was white, y'all. Now it makes sense why Ham turned black, right? Does it make sense to you now how Ham turned black? The curse of Ham because he turned black? Well, that's what this cat was saying. But anyway, now, according to says since the 1960s, this Hermetic hypothesis, this race science, had been entirely discredited, right? Because then that means the white man turned black, right? Not that the black man can turn black if he was already black, but somebody turned black, right? But this is what they were talking about at that time, right? So it goes on, talk some more about with this cat. He talking about some, again, as the book I showed, it was recognized. He had recognized that there were 4 major distinct races of the African continent. Again, the Bushmanoids, the Pygmies, the Negroids, and the Caucasoids, which he said were Hamites. Okay? And so somehow they were trying to, the Hottentot. You ever heard of Sir Archie Bartman, the Hottentot, right? Remember they took her and stuffed her and parading her around because she had, she had booty, right? And matter of fact, I think those old dresses with the back of them up, I think that's come from the template of her, right? One Emily, everything, won't steal it. What they call it? They always trying to steal something, right? Culture vultures, right? But anyway. So he said this Hermetic Caucasoids were North and Northeast Africans were responsible for introducing non-Semitic Afro-Asiatic languages. Okay? These white folks that came down there, they the one gave us our language. They the one came in Africa and taught us civilization. These are the one that gave us technology. Right? And then he goes on and says that the late Semitic influences, the civilization of Africa, are civilizations of the Hamites. History is a record of these people and their interaction with the 2 other African stocks, the Negro and the Bushman. This influence was exerted by highly civilized Egyptians. Everybody wants to steal the Egyptians, don't they? Hey, I seen them, they found them 50 sarcophagus there, I think a couple of weeks ago, because I was going to do it, but I couldn't get on because they had me banned. But all of them seemed to have white faces. Like, damn, all that time, but you can find them. We know that Ptolemy and them came in there about they was in there for about 300 years, right? Well, we understand they was up in there, but the thing you got to understand, the reason why I'm showing you this cat is because something about that Negro. He said that the true Negroid came from East Africa. They were part of the Nubian, the Egyptian expansion group. That end up getting over to where? On the West Coast. What about Nigeria and all that? Now, I know a lot of us will say, we ain't no Africans. I don't disagree with you with that. But somebody knows something we don't know. Somebody is in the mindset to say that I heard and I can't say, at least not yet, that certain people are being upset about these black corners of these social medias and the heightening of bringing information and waking people up. And certain ones are talking in a way that are in the face of others who swear down they, them people. Now, understand what I'm saying, y'all. They, them people, and they saying y'all trying to take away they stuff. Now, those who know what I'm talking about. So all this somehow secretly is about getting rid of, because you about to try to steal what they claim they are. Huh? Those slow in the back, you ain't gonna get it. Those who look quick, you won't understand what I just said. I got to talk a little codish, because you know they ready to knock me out of here. But I'm saying one more again. This got something to do with somebody who is not ish. You're not ish, you are it, right? So because you are it, and you come into a realization of knowing that you are it, it is time that you're going to take away our identity, and we can't be who we are, so we got to get rid of you. Can't see, I ain't told you. Right? So anyway, that's some fat to chew on. That's some fat to chew on for you. See? You can't find like, what the hell really going on here? What's going on? Something going on. Anybody gonna tell the truth? Nobody really gonna tell you the truth. Because they done got it so you can't see. Otherwise you won't hear it never again. Or you got to find somewhere by chance searching around. Oh damn, there you go. I didn't know that was your new name, right? So anyway, for those who are new over here, go to my other channel so that just in case that shit happen, you can at least read. I get to you over there. The other channel is Black Minds TV. That's BLAKMINDZ TV. Go over there and subscribe. Help me to get to 100. Been in the game for 9 years, y'all. Can't get 100 views either. But anyway, so that was that cat there, right? So, but remember, we was going through this thing too, right? We were trying to get ourselves, right? From this Negro to black to African American, right? That's what they say. So let me see. So then it was around, I think it was, everybody remember this, right? Remember, like, you never know, like, where did we get that from? I remember they were showing Jesse, talking about Jesse as we were called colored, but we're not that. Then Negro, but not that. To be called black is just as baseless. Black tells you about skin color and what side of town you live on, and African Americans invoke discussions of the world. Huh? Jesse Jackson, remember everybody said that Jesse Jackson is one that gave us the term African American, right? Let's see. Is that true? Okay. Let's see if that's true. Now remember. Okay. Yeah, put that up for me there, sir. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna. This was back in 80. I think it was it 88 when they came out with this. Let's see. Hold on. Yeah, put that up there for me, because yeah, you got to put that one up there. Okay. So here's the article, right? They was talking about leaders say blacks want to be called African Americans, right? So let me go ahead and read this article to you real quick. It's not long. It's real short. But I'm getting to the point where I'm going, though. Check this out. Leaders say blacks wants to be called African Americans. Let me say that again. Leaders say blacks want to be called African Americans. Now, this article came out on December 20th of 1988. This is what it reads. Now, Chicago says AP. Group of black leaders, including the Reverend Jesse Jackson, says members of their race would prefer to be called African Americans rather than blacks. Just as we were called colored, but were not that, and then Negroes, but not that. To be called black is just as baseless, Jackson said at a news conference Monday after a meeting of the black leaders. To be called African American has cultural integrity. He said it puts us in a proper historical context. Every ethnic group in this country has a reference to some land base, some historical cultural base. African Americans have hit the level of cultural maturity. Jackson was joined by former Gary, Indiana Mayor Richard Hatcher, National Urban Coalition President Ramona Edlin, Gloria Toot, former Assistant Secretary of the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, and others. There are Armenian Americans and Jewish Americans and Arab Americans and Italian Americans, Jackson said, was a degree of accepted and reasonable pride. They connect their heritage to their mother country and where they are now. The black leaders meeting to discuss national goals said they would meet again in Washington on March 3rd. Many of the leaders at the meeting, including representatives of the National Black Republican Council, the National Black County Officials, and the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, said the term African American would be a psychological lift. The Reverend Willie Barrow, president of Operation Push, says she will start using the term immediately. I'm African American, just like the Polish are Polish Americans and Italians are Italian Americans, she said. It's something we all agreed upon, and it's just great. Cook County Commissioner John Stroger said he already uses the term. It's appropriate in the light of our origins, he said, but some said the change was superficial. We must have really reached a zenith in the civil rights struggle that we have to be busying ourselves with semantics, said Reverend B. Herbert Martin, head of Chicago Human Relations Commission. However, Martin added, I think the title or name African American points to us to a higher consciousness in terms of the origins of African peoples. I consider myself a black woman, but African Americans just sound better to me, said Jackson, who is the museum's public relations director. African Americans is just more descriptive of what we are. No one is really black, like the color black. Many black Americans have come to the same conclusion in recent years, especially since Jesse Jackson proposed the change. African Americans appear to be gaining currency as the term of choice for many blacks and is beginning to seep into the culture at large. In addition to Jackson, others who have used it are New York Mayor David N. Dinkey, Atlanta Mayor Maynard Jackson, Republican William H. Gray III, tennis star and author Arthur Ashe, and novelist Ishmael Reed. Television interviewer Oprah Winfrey once described herself as a colored girl who became a Negro, then black, then African American. It's fashionable now to be known as African American. Linda Jackson. All right. I'll cut that a little too short for me there, sir. But anyway, so that was back in 88 when those who were calling themselves the leaders decided to change our name from black to African American, right? Okay, so it was Negro, well, it was colored Negro, and then we became black and then African American, right? So it's like, damn, why you keep switching the damn name? Why you keep trying to, you know what I'm saying, keep switching their identity? What's all that about, right? You know, nobody will really ever talk about that, right? But they always told us that Jesse Jackson is the one who actually came up with that term, right? But it's not really the truth. That's not where you get it. That's not where you got it from, right? There was a sister here. I think let me show the sister here, right? The sister right there. Her name is Ramona Edlin, okay? She is the one who was credited. Felt like black just was descriptive of just being a color, right? Now, many of us that call ourselves black, we don't look at it just on no color. They ain't gonna do my damn color. But see, that's somebody, again, you know, you looking at things from, again, look who you try to accreditate and try to say, oh, y'all be black. Black ain't no country, ain't no landmass called black. You gotta be this and you gotta be that based on the law. All that shit is goddamn shit. Anyway, stop it. Go back and check all that. That shit go back to London, go back with the church, and all of it is a damn game. Go back to the donation of Constantine, all that. Really? So It's all a fraud, but then you won't try to hold me because I want to say I'm black. Because you want to say they don't recognize that in law. What? When did that begin? When did that begin? You see what I'm saying? When did that begin? Anyway, for those who want to argue with it, go right on here. But the point is, so you got these people who want to be, again, some kind of acceptance, right? You're always trying to get somebody to stamp approve you because it makes you feel worldly. I don't care what Obama talked about. Sarah Palin said if you put lipstick on a pig, still gonna be a pig, right? So it's not, no matter how many degrees, how many suits and cars and how much money you got in the bank, when he get mad at you and he start grunting, he gonna still have that big N on the front of that word that come out of his damn mouth, his or her, right? That's what it is, right? So again, you do all this trying to make yourself feel good, right? And then when you get the lights, camera, actions on you, you find out who they really are. And we're gonna get to that, because did y'all see this? Hey, that's it. Put that up there for me, sir. Did y'all see this? That one. Get rid of that one. Yeah, put that up there. Did y'all hear about this? That H.R. 40 exploring the path to reparative justice in America? Did y'all hear about that? Right? So they had the little, I guess it was a Zoom, right? Video for some of those who've seen it, right? And it's funny, man. It's like when you look at history and peoples, show me where, let's say, for instance, if they was going to sit down and do the reparations for those of the Holocaust. Show me where they have Jews on the other side debating whether the Jews shouldn't get no money or don't memorialize of their people. Show me where they do that at. These cats with a straight face do this. They do it with a straight ass face and look at you like they legit. I'm accredited, I'm Kunde La, I'm all that, but don't have the basic element. If you is African American and those who are black and somebody who black won't do this, I don't want to be no African American. I'm straight. I'm good. I'm good with that, right? If you want to be that, that's fine. If this is what it does, well, let me show you what I'm talking about. Let me show you. Because it just didn't make no damn sense at all, right? Oh, man. Right? Y'all seen this, right? Oh, man. Did y'all hear about this? I know y'all heard about it. I know y'all heard about it. If you ain't heard about it, you about to hear about it, right? Teach his own, man. But when you talk in the sense that you talking for me and mine, and you probably cut from the same cloth, I think you need to don't say nothing. You got yours. Just quietly say, we good. We don't want it. Wouldn't that be better just to do it that way? Wouldn't it just be better to say, oh, we good. We don't want none of that, man. We straight over here. I got that football money, all that. I'm good. I'm good. No, that's not what you're saying. No, what you're saying is, I got to speak before them. In the way that they did it, let me show y'all something, man. Let me go ahead and let me let you hear him read this. Oh my God, man. This is ridiculous. Y'all ready to hear this? I'm gonna have to, I'll wait till afterwards. Do this and then hit that and then let's go back into that. Because this is wild. But it's gotta be shown, right? Just in case y'all didn't see it. Do the troll and then come. Well, no, just do it afterwards. Go ahead. You can go ahead and do that. Is it good? Yeah, go ahead. Check this out. I'll be right back, y'all.
Portions of the program may be unsuitable for younger or more sensitive viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
United States Football League with the New Jersey Jets. He played for the Dallas Cowboys, the NFL, the Vikings, the New York Giants, football Giants, and the Philadelphia Eagles. He also competed in the 1992 Winter Olympics as a bobsledder and has competed as a mixed martial artist. He was a supporter of President Trump in 2016 and 2020, spoke at the 2020 Republican National Convention. He holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Criminal Justice Studies from the University of Georgia. Mr. Walker, you'll be recognized for 5 minutes, and at this point, I need to go to the Natural Resources Committee for our organizational meeting. And Ms. Jackson Lee, if you're there, if you would take the chair for Mr. Walker's testimony and until I can return. Ms. Jackson Lee?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman.
You're recognized. Mr. Walker's been recognized, and you are now the acting chair. Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Chairman, I can't thank you enough for your stupendous leadership and friendship. We will do this together. And again, thank you for your history on all of this. Glad to work with you and Chairman Nadler. I just wanted to interject that as you move to your other committee. And I'm delighted to listen to Mr. Walker.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Walker, you're recognized.
Okay. Chairman and ranking members, I thank you for this opportunity to speak on reparation, which has been spoken about many times over my lifetime, but over the past year has become a hot topic. I asked the question, why? There's been many surveys show that a large percentage of black and white teens will say racism is better today than yesterday. We use black power to create white guilt. My approach is biblical. How can I ask my Heavenly Father to forgive me if I can't forgive my brother? I never want to put anyone's religion down, but my religion teaches togetherness. Reparation teaches separation. Slavery ended over 130 years ago. How can a father be asked his son to spend prison time for a crime he committed? In the case we speak of, we're researching farther back in history, a history many are not taught or spoken about in school. America is the greatest country in the world to me. A melting pot of a lot of great races, a lot of great minds that have come together with different ideas to make America the greatest country on earth. Many have died trying to get into America. No one is dying trying to get out. Reparation. Where will the money come from? Does it come for all the other races except the black taxpayers? Who is black? What percentage of black must you be to receive reparation? Do you go to 23andMe or a DNA test to determine the percentage of blackness? Some American ancestors just came to this country 80 years ago. Their ancestor wasn't even here during slavery. Some black immigrants weren't here, nor their ancestors. Some states didn't even have slavery. We as black Americans have always wanted what the Constitution stated, all men, black, white, and today Latino, Asian, Italian, etc., should be guaranteed the alienability rights of life, freedom, and the pursuit of happiness. Years later, after slavery ended, Dr. King, I Have a Dream speech, said, the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation was a great beacon of light, but hundreds of years later, we're still not free. Segregation and discrimination. Today, I call that reparation. I asked my mom, who is in her mid-80s, her thought on reparation. Her words, I do not believe in reparation. Who is the money going to go to? Has anyone thought about paying the families who lost someone in the Civil War, who fought for their freedom? Your dad and I taught you, speaking of me, to provide for you and your family through a good education and hard work. If you give a man a fish, you feed him a day. You teach him to fish, you feed him a lifetime. Reparation is only feeding you for a day. It's removing the sign of for whites only, replacing the sign for no education here. Black America is asking for a hand up, not a hand out. Another big question, who is the guilty party? Should we start at the beginning where African Americans sold the African American ancestors into slavery and to a slave trader who eventually sold the African American ancestors to slave owners? The slave owners who had no success and no luck trying to make a Native American whose land they took become their slave because the Native American ran away. Well, they thought it was fine then to use African American who didn't know the country, didn't know the language, didn't know the religion, and they didn't run away. So I asked, why reparation? Well, slavery is because to the year 2021, still talking about reparation, not equal education, not to compare a game to a horrible period in my life, but as I fought shoulder to shoulder with my fellow football brothers of other races, I saw struggles they were encountering the same as I. And I heard them speak to their parents of problems my family were dealing with as well. If a black player would have been given something different than any other player, it would have created problems within the team, separation and division. Ezekiel 18:20, the righteousness of the right shall be upon him. The son shall not suffer for the crime of the father, nor the father suffer the crime of the son, unless either father or son know beforehand the father or son was a criminal. To help any race, provide them with a good quality education and help incentivize through opportunities with responsibilities, which helps generations in the future. If reparation is a fee or a correction for a terrible sin of slave owners, government, and others, but we punish the non-guilty party, is it not creating division or separation with different races? I feel it continues to let us know we're still African American rather than just American. Reparation or atonement is outside the teaching of Jesus Christ, who you are teaching, who will not be teaching the word of God. So I speak back.
Thank you very much, Mr. Walker, for your testimony. Delighted to now be able to introduce our next.
Have you ever heard such? I ain't no African American. I'm sorry. If that's what African American is, they can keep that shit. I don't want none of that shit. You can have that shit. I don't want to be no damn. That's African American? Is that what that whole change from black to African American? Now again, I know my sister in here. You know I know who he is. But I'm just saying, we call ourselves black, right? And we stood on that, right? But no, this African-American business is something entirely different that we need to understand this, right? This African-American is the mode that's coming in there saying this kind of, you know what I'm saying? Wait a minute. Like I was saying, prior to playing that, have you ever seen any people who going before trying to be repaired for the wrongdoing somebody doing, and you say, I'll go up there and talk against them on for you, master. I'll do it. Huh? Have you ever seen some, like I said, you think they'd have, I bet you couldn't even find the bones of the mug if you went up against the Holocaust. I bet you couldn't even find the bones later. Huh? I bet you couldn't find a hat. You couldn't find nothing. They're like the mug never existed, huh? Motherfucker would be like Sasquatch and Bigfoot. They tell you the story, but you'll never know that he existed. But see, mother get right up in our face. It was him. It was the other cat was Burgess Owens. He was the one that went against Kaepernick. Now again, I'm not gonna say that, you know, I was all in for it, but with the purpose of what you standing making that and what it was about, I'm with you with that, bro. But what I'm saying is, he was against that. The other cat. So they had Larry Elder, they had Herschel Walker, and they had Burgess Owens. Oh my God. What kind of commission was this? What was this? And what was that Minneapolis said? He said, I know this shit ain't real. Yeah, that's real, bro. Go look. It just came out yesterday. I was gonna come on yesterday, but I was so blown with that. I was like, man, go see all that. You go see the entire. I can't get all. That's why I got to play it the way I did it. So, can you believe that? So he said something to the fact. He said we use. Now he's saying we as black folks, we use black power to create white guilt. What? When you guilty, if somebody making you feel guilty, either they manipulating you because they manipulators, or you're guilty because just maybe your ass is guilty, right? So we came in with black power to make white people feel guilty. Really? That's what he said. Like, really? Man, I can't believe it. I don't believe he wrote that. I believe somebody else wrote that and he just read it. Now, the part that you didn't see prior before that, what you heard in the beginning was, it was the original dude who was doing the hearing was white. But since they finally introduced Herschel Walker in, knowing what Herschel about to do, he handed the baton over, said he had to leave, and here you go, Sheila Jackson, I'll be back. So you're going to be the one. And if you listen, Sheila Jackson was just like, okay, next. You know what I'm saying? Like, really? Now I understand, you Heisman Trophy, and you one of the greatest, running a football in college, and you get what I'm saying? Why these cats are the ones up here doing all this talking, and you got many people out here who could, advocate, and who that's what they professions and what they do. Where are they getting these cats from? Like I said, you can always get people to go against us. Now see, this is the thing about us. Again, in the beginning, the two was Nigerians, right? So that's kind of immigrants. That's not all of them. That's not all. We're just saying that, some of us, we run across and we be here like, what's up with this stuff, man? Why everybody, you getting funky with us like that, right? And then we got a problem with our own, something like this, right? And he had the nerve to say this is biblical. Y'all heard him? He said, this is biblical. You heard that scripture he said, sister? Ezekiel, he said Ezekiel something, 18 something. Talking about anyway, right? He said he don't believe that to ask the son to do for what the father had done. Now we understand that in reality. Like if I did something, well, let's put it like this, the way the world is today, if I go out there and do some, let's say, some fuck shit. If I go out there and do some fuck shit and you don't catch me, some of them going to come at my family. They're going to come at everybody who tired of me since they can't get to me, right? So in the natural thing, the way that this Western world is, I don't know why you trying to say that. See, it's like we always want to take, like the Michelle Obama stuff, like we take when they go low, we go lower. Or we go high, whatever the hell. No, we don't go low. When they go low, we go high. Shit, we supposed to go lower. Shit, in football, they want to tackle them. You got to get low. Anyway, so, right? So he says that, you don't put that on the son. Now, according to what we said in that scripture, supposedly, I'll get to that later. But anyway, it's called inheritance, right? Some people inherit things, right? That's what they willed to you. If I willed that to you and you go ahead and carry it and continue it on, because it's funny how everybody want to say something that happened so long ago, but we in 2021, as they say, and somehow what happened is you say 130 years ago, still fighting them same fights today, but you've been adding more on it to keep more pressure for me to get out. It's by bringing, again, as an earlier part, talking about people you bring, talking about they leaving their place for a better life. Instead of pulling up their back bootstraps and getting in there and putting that work in like we did. I thought, accordingly, this is supposed to be global. I thought the same thing that happened globally. So what's the difference between then and here? Ain't we the same people y'all keep saying? Ain't we the same people? If we the same people, you can do the same thing. So why that didn't happen? Y'all, you tell me. Well, y'all say we all the same, but okay. He said something that if he said he said if we was to get reparations, right? He said if there was to be some, who's black and who gets it? You think the numbers, them Social Security numbers and all that birth certificate and stuff, they don't already know who is who? Don't they, you know what I'm saying? They try to tell us they don't got no records about all the way going back. Then they tell us that, they burnt down the White House. The British came and they burnt down the White House. They burnt all the records. So we don't have anything going back about at least about 1790. Nothing after that. Yeah, I guess you don't. Ask T.I. See, T.I. went out there and said that stuff. Remember what T.I. said? Now look what T.I. going through, right? Y'all don't think that connects somehow? Remember when he was talking about he gonna go to them people and talk about he wants some reparations? Y'all remember that? Anyways, right? So he says, who is black and do we have to go to 23andMe? 23andMe. So we gonna go in the hands of the same people who we gonna trust them like anybody who go take them, the 23andMe and what's that, Ancestry.com and get them, your bloodline take you to Nigeria and all, right? What's my family last name? I keep saying that. What's my family last name? Don't tell me the landmass. What's my name? Right? Kunta Kinte want to be Toby. Right? I don't want to be Toby no more. What is Kunta's name? We know that was a plagiarized story, but what is Kunta's name? I don't know what Kunta's name is, right? Then he ties in with this ancestry that said something about 80 years ago. Some people just got here 80 years ago. You think the system don't know they just got here 80 years ago? You think the system don't know, they just got here 80 years ago? Hey, wait a minute. Let me ask you a question. If you had owed some people some money, right? You owe some people some money, and everybody come in, it's time for you to pay up. Now, if you know you owe people money, right? But then you looking at them and you're like, I don't know you. I ain't never borrowed no money from you, right? You got to prove that I owe you, right? Now, those that you know you owe, you already know the records of what you owe. But these other people, I ain't paying them. So why does everybody feel like they got to add somebody else in to our conversation to give weight? It's like you got people who just hate they hate us. Damn, ain't you one of us, but you hate us that well too? Okay, you was blessed by the Creator to be able to run with a goddamn pigskin, right? You one big, strong, strapping, running nigga with a football, right? That's you. All of us didn't have it. Some of us got brains, some of us can read, some of us can dance, some of us can sew, all kind of stuff, right? But no, you got that. So based on the way that this plantation worked, because that's what it is. You bloodline the plantation, then when you got your turn to come here, you was big enough and buck enough that they said, hey, what can you run with this pig? You run a 4.2 and a 4, I can make a lot of money off you. Yeah, you gonna live good. So you don't understand that the rest of us suffered. The rest of us had regular jobs and families and so forth and didn't fight against all this, right? But you didn't. But you done forgot where you came from, right? Then he threw his mama. Well, I asked my mama. My mama's about 80-something years old. Oh, well, some of us got 80, 100-year-old people in our family too. And they didn't say that either. That's their interpretation. Again, if you don't want it, just say, check my family off. We don't want them. We good. Why shit on all and everybody? I know, again, this is far-fetched. We know this whole conversation of reparation, but it's just the point. It's the principle. It's the principle. Like, damn. You would get on here to allow them to be able to use your words against those of us who might be looking forward to and want some solace or some soul of mind to even think that, but here you go, that they're going to keep regurgitating that in your face and use his face, his voice, and then his lineage to say, see, he said you don't need it. Now, he did something that they all go to do. Huh? Did y'all hear it? He went to the old MLK. Did y'all hear him? MLK said that emancipation was a beacon of light. But we went through segregation and all that. I guess he forgot to put in the civil rights part. And when we got civil rights, that was reparations. Did you hear him say that? That emancipation was a beacon of light that Martin Luther King said. And then we went through the Jim Crow and the whole nine to get to the civil rights. And when we got civil rights, all of a sudden now, that's reparations. Hold on, I'm going to dial up Dr. King. Dr. King, could you please come in here and tell these folks what you said when you was on this planet? Because these niggas didn't hear you. Huh?
Time that America refused to give the Negro any land. Through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided county agents to further their expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farms. Not only that, today many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And this is what we are faced with. And this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington, in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
All right. Did you hear what Dr. King said, Dr. Martin Luther King said? Now, what he was talking about when they gave millions of acres of land. Now, that was the Homestead Act back in 1862 was the first one they gave. When they gave all white folks, they gave all the millions of acres away, right? Let them be able to start up. Now, in 1862, where was we in 1862? We were still on the plantation, wasn't we? They getting prepared, really setting up, getting ready for the Civil War, right? Okay. Then after we go through that whole part with that and then get to 1865, they came out with the second Homestead Act specifically for us, black Americans. But when they killed Lincoln and then, what was his name, Johnson, the vice president that came in after for Lincoln, he reneged everything Lincoln did, just kind of like they're doing right now. We're talking about all them executive orders that Joe Biden doing, that what Trump did. Well, that's what he did. He came in and took away all that. Now, remember those who watched when I did the Freedmen Bureau, right, when they talking about how our ancestors got all that money from being in the military and then built our own stuff and stopped building our own buildings, and they collapsed, took all our money. But also we supposed to got that land, right? But then they was making college grants and they was building those colleges and for agriculture for them. They was getting all that, all this stuff that they was getting. Herschel, have you ever heard that before? You never heard King say that before, right? Maybe you never heard him say that before. But you heard him say, when we go to Washington, we coming to get our check. Now, what was he talking about? What was he talking about when he said coming to get our check? That's why they had to get rid of him. He started talking about money now. You know how it is. You ever had somebody or know somebody, or you might be that person, you owe somebody and somebody keep asking you for money, you ain't really trying to pay them, like bills or something like that. Keep calling your phone, looking at the call ID, turn off the ringer. You know how you do it, right? And but somebody who, person up and on you do it, you might, you get angry at them, right? There's an old saying say, I hate you more because I done you wrong. People, when they done you wrong and they know that that they've done you wrong, they be angry at you because you know. That's how they be acting, right? But you got on talking about something what we don't need, and that, he even went into saying that African Americans sold African Americans. Did y'all hear him? He said African Americans is the one that sold African Americans to the white man. I thought African Americans just came in the 80s. What are you talking about? African Americans sold African Americans. You know what I'm saying? Huh? When you want to be their boy, you be their boy. Huh? Just ridiculous. And these people want to be idolized for, okay, the gift of running a pigskin. I'll give you that. But this here, man, hold on, man. I feel guilty. I think I done put a damn virus in y'all. Hold on. Let me help y'all get this damn virus out, y'all. Hold on. Look at the screen good. Huh? Don't follow that like that. You hear me? Get that out you. The virus of that you just seen. Don't try to be doing that. That ain't what you want to do. You don't get to be front of no damn body and then sitting there talking about something. Oh, we don't want nothing. We make you feel, white folks feel guilty for what they did to us. Why should foreigners have to pay us for something they didn't do? You're getting the benefits because you was able to run from where the hell you came from. Don't that count for something? No, anything because you don't want to have to do nothing. So all that virus he put in you, let's look at the screen. I know it might be tearing your head up a little bit, but you need to get that virus up out you. Man, that nigga put a virus up in you with that kind of talk, huh? Put a virus up in you. Can you believe that? Now, again, first part we had somebody who is immigrant, Nigerian. They had problems with us too. Then you got your own one who cut from the same cloth like you too, right? Then, oh man. All right, here we go. What happens, okay, in his case, he's full, probably be full like us. And when I say us, y'all, for those who may think, oh, you don't like, no. I do advocate for black Americans because who else gonna do it? Who else gonna do it? You can't get nobody in no suit and tie who's supposed to go down there Washington and Congress and do it. So they're going to have to always come from the grassroots. And you know it ain't going to go no damn well. But we just in here talking and they listening. But it's what it is. Ain't nothing to hide about. They know what it is. They know what they owe us. You know what I'm saying? The elephant in the room. Everybody know what it is. But what about when you get somebody who have? Did y'all see this one too? Oh, I know y'all seen it. Listen to this, man. What's going on? Check this out. I'll be right back.
Have been, segregated, persecuted, hunted down, killed, stolen from, humiliated. Can you let me finish? Because you won't let me finish. When you talk, I have been nothing but quiet and respectful. I don't understand.
Okay, pro-black. All right, praise God. Go ahead, sweet sugars. Now, we love everybody, but then you got your certain black folk that just nigga, goddamn nigga.
Let me talk, so I don't even understand where you, because I feel like you're being sarcastic, and I'm just trying to.
I'm not being sarcastic.
So can you let me talk?
You have to understand, black people are not the only people that have been oppressed.
So if you would let me talk, that would be
ones, my nigga. Jewish people have been oppressed. Okay. Well, I can keep going. I'm biracial, damn it. We fucking up people make us feel like shit. You don't know that life. You don't know that. So if you want me to be an ignorant ass nigga, I will tonight. I don't want to go there.
I'm not sure. I think you're
you a cool ass dude, but I think you need to understand, sugar, that there is more to life than just being black, baby.
Okay.
Shake that head. Oh, I don't care. You have a blessed night, greenhead. Okay? You're so cute with your Kool-Aid colors. I see your Kool-Aid colors shining through. Now let that hairline come on down, baby. So please, I'm a very nice person, but when you bring the nigga out of me, honey, it come out But I'm talking about is Shaquita.
All right, we back, right? So that was that Kiki Wyatt, I think his name is, right? But then she sang about Avon out, say, long as I live, right? My first love, show must not be us. You know, sometimes people, you know, drinking alcohol and getting angry is two things that make the truth get out of somebody. Ain't that right? Get somebody some bat juice, right? Let them drink one more sip, just one more sip, and they go get into who they is, right? So, oh, he just drunk. You know, the other folks love using that as a she was just drunk. She was just being herself, right? And if you get angry, you just being yourself, right? Okay, so some people may not like say, hey man, you know, you can't hold her, man. She was just. No, it's like, why do we feel the need? Like, why some things can just be too damn black? And we're talking about amongst with us. Like, we have some people who are offended when it's too black. But you say you black. How can you be offended when you black? And if, in this case, she the one called him sugared, so I'm just going to go with the line of that. Being called somebody, a woman calling you sugar, that means you must not be looked upon in her eyes as masculine, right? So, but he had the testicular fortitude to be on his pro-black soapbox. But it irked her that, you know, black, it's more to life and other people in Jewish. Why do we do that? Why do you feel the need to throw other people up into the equation when it's dealing with us, unless the fact because of what you battle in yourself? What are you talking about, Mr. Blows Your Mind? Well, have you ever heard the term called tragic mulatto? Now, again, I'm not using this to be negative. I'm just going to tell you what it talked about. The tragic mulatto, right, is a stereotypical, they say, fictional character. Appeared in American literature during the 19th and 20th century. Started, they say, in 1837. So when in 1837, where were we at? A fictional character, right? No. This has something to do about they was observing, because you know they like to do, they be observing you. Oh, his protruding lips, his you know, they do that when they was writing all that stuff about us. They looking at you like you like, you know, man, but be looking at me like that. You understand? But that's how they did when they was sitting there, you know, doing all this. But anyway, so they was observing these children or people who would be mixed. So they gave them this tragic mulatto, and this is a archetypical mixed race person. Right? They said that they assumed to be sad, that people who are mixed like this are sad, even suicidal. Because they fail to completely fit in the white world, then they say, or black world. Right? The tragic mulatto is depicted as a victim of society and society divided by race, which this is the king of it, United States, right? Where there's no place for one who is neither completely black nor white. The trope was only or also used by abolitionists in order to create a mixed race. They said was used by abolitionists in order to create a mixed race. Appearing white, slaves that serve as a tool to express sentimentally to white readers in efforts to paint a slave as more human. Now, they said this is what they were writing when they was doing the books. They use the tragic mulatto so they can give the humanity side of the slave that the white reader would read that was somehow could bond with it. Us white, it must be something to be half white, but you're black and you're treated as a Negro. So a lot of people who are mixed are having an internal war with themselves, because think about it. How can really think about it? What is this whole thing about, you know, half? Okay, if you half one and half the other, I thought that's 50-50. So how does your 50 become solely one side? Because what the rules by the other side say, No, if you got just one part of that, that's no good. You can't get over here. But that thing can come on the other side. So you put these people in a tug of war. And then you heard Kiki say, Kiki was like, you talking about black? But I'm biracial. Huh? You heard her say, you see her snap, right? She snapped, right? And then why is it that people, like this will say, you don't want to see me angry, I'm going to get my ignorant nigga. Why can't it be an ignorant white person? Why can't it be the ignorant nigga in you? Why can't it be the ignorant cracker in you? Why the ignorant cracker can't come out you? Right? That's funny, man. People, when they want to get wild and wild, that's only the black part of it. It's never the other side. It's always on us. You throw all the negativity right on us, right? That's what you throw right on us, right? So they say the tragic mulatto, right, which is female, latos, right, figure is a woman of a biracial heritage who endured the hardship of Africans in the antebellum South. Like she said, she grew up amongst black people. And because she didn't fit in. Well, you know what that is. Just imagine, if you can, if you're not, okay, you very fair-skinned amongst all, people who are heavy melanated. Based on our history and what we've been going through and the psychological stuff, and of course, as kids, you're going to go through that, right? You're going to go through that because why? Kids don't know no better, and kids only going to, follow suit with everybody else doing. But as they get older, that fades away, right? Now, sometimes again, people get drunk and get older, get angry. What they'll do is they'll just say things because maybe they just got a problem with you, and they know that this get up under your skin. Matter of fact, over in these black YouTube corners, somebody who talked about somebody and talked about their blue eyes and light bone, red bone, and you've seen them elbows go to work on the mug, right? And that's what happened, right? See, he touched that, he hit that live wire up in him, right? Now, we don't condone that, but I'm just saying the psychological aspect was it, when you go there, that's what happens with them. So is this something that is real, or is they just trying to make, the tragic mulatto was just an archetype or something fictional that we wrote in the book? Or is this reality that we see, right? Matter of fact, I can prove to you that this happened, right? I can prove to you that this happened. Do y'all remember this brother? Well, I'm going to give him the brother, but again, he falls in this category. Now, remember, I had got banned during this time. So I'm just kind of doing a recap. But all this happened within the last week. Right? Last week, all this happened. But remember this brother came out? Check this out. Remember what I just told you about the tragic mulatto, right? Now you heard Kiki when she snapped and what she said, right? That was kind of like she snapped. But again, this whole thing about black, and, too black for everybody. And then it's like, well, maybe there's an issue here. But look what happened to this brother. Then ask yourself this question. Check this out. I'll be right back.
A bit after 1:30 last Sunday. So, here's what it is. I was kind of hoping to see the Super Bowl. This one especially because we got two Purple Knights actually playing against each other. Mr. Tyrann Mathieu and Leonard Fournette. Hope y'all go forth and conquer. And, I don't think it's happenstance that everything is going on at this particular time. So, I don't know, possibly, maybe if y'all want to, you should. Like I say, take a knee, but you need to figure something out because this is a moment that can be seized. I think that it should be. So, but yeah, man. I've had enough of all of this nonsense of serving a system that does not give a damn about me or people like me, or just about life in general. And this is my statement. If this isn't something to state that this killing that's going on, especially by the police, which I am. I can't abide by this no more. I'm not having anything to do with this nonsense anymore. Call me what you want, try to discredit me. I have been a stellar deputy in this 5+ years that I've been there. My last email's been sent. It's copied to somebody. I can't be discredited. Never so much as one write-up for maybe some reports being late. None whatsoever. So it can't be said that I was a shammer or anything like that, or I wasn't pulling my weight. And just for contextual purposes, I just want y'all to understand where and what I'm coming from. My entire life has been in service of other people, and it's just dawned on me that this time, as of now, needs to be seized because you don't really give a damn about us. That is the truth. That is the truth. I served with a full heart in the military. After that, got back into law enforcement, and you have no idea how hard it is to put a uniform on in this day and age with everything that's going on. None. And listen, y'all entrust me to safeguard your little ones, your small ones, your thing that's most precious to y'all, and I did that well. Y'all trusted me with that. I've had security clearances in the military. That's verifiable. If I was untrustworthy, if I was a threat, would they let me guard the U.S. Embassy in Kabul? Which I did. I trained Iraqi police, Afghan national police, and that's not it. But I wouldn't have been put in a position of that if they thought I was a threat. But that has allowed me to see the inner working of things, and this is a demonic system, and it's not anything I can continue to serve and want to be a part of. And this is not right. This is no form of justice. Let's go down the list. Both of them shot in his own apartment. How that work? How does that work? Chilling on his couch. I don't give a damn if he had weed in the apartment. You're going to execute somebody for that? Oh no, y'all are good for that. You break up families for a plant, this war on drugs and this nonsense. But now it's starting to get legal because big pharmaceutical companies stand to make billions off of it, and they paid off the lobbyists, who in turn have started ushering the way it needs to go for them. The countless people who are doing time behind that. How do you even make amends for that? You can't. You can't. This Floyd, man, Brianna. Not right. I'm telling you, it's not. If this feels right to you as a person, there's something is wrong with you. This is the furthest thing from right. This is the manner of wickedness that bro. And you're getting away with it. When is enough going to be enough for people? Huh? Seriously. Y'all are radicalizing people, and then when they buck and they want to go against the system because it's not for them, you come down on them with a hammer. I don't understand this. I do not understand this. It's getting to the point now, let me tell y'all something. Again, I'm going to go back into it. I'm going to be wrapping up pretty soon. None of this is happenstance. Do you understand me? None of this is happenstance at all. If you think it's possible that all of this is happenstance with everything that's happened in this immediate area, no. Pellerin, I don't know all the inner workings of that, but between that and just, man, listen, I understand we have a tough job, but we signed up for this. We need help. because we deal with the bottom rung of society. It does not give us an excuse to just do whatever we want, and that's what we're doing, and we're not being held accountable. And it's just allowed. Not personally in the environment that I'm in, because I don't do normal police work anymore, but I've done it. Look, I was on duty the night Middlebrook got killed. That's hard enough to process when you hear that call come out. I was posted up in front of Troop I, setting up a perimeter, and then they called him. Went back to my normal zone, which was south, Youngsville Highway, see the vehicles going by, about to make that notification. Get another call, another murder. All the stuff that took place that night, the guys who were south with me, we got a letter of recognition because we did our job. That was just one night for us. Police officers need mental health, because you can't tell me what happened in Milwaukee. That should have been caught. That should have been caught. That dude was like an automaton. He didn't have any. It was just completely apathetic. That should have got caught. That is a failure of leadership. It is a systemic thing. Look at it like this. He was the senior most person there. Okay. The freshest person there, the rookie, he was like 2 weeks out of FTO. He's not going to check somebody that's got 10 plus years and say something. He thinks it's the norm. He's just going to go along with it. And that is the indoctrination and everything. It hasn't happened here. It hasn't been around me. But I see how it happens. So all this code of blue silence, no. Sorry. I'm going to be on the right side of this one. And I would rather be considered crazy and whatever they want to say about me, he was under the influence of something. No, that is an easy cop out just to say that I am, because that will then allow a dialogue not to be started. It needs to be talked about. This is insane, about to go off the rails, and I'm not doing it anymore. Loved my job, loved it. Loved every aspect of it. Finally found something I could call my own and made it my own. And but this is bigger than that. And I'm not gonna do that. There's no way I can just be like, okay, it's no big deal. No, this is a very big deal to me. This is a tipping point. And just to continue to think that we can just do what we've been doing and just hitting the status quo like that, and people, no. None whatsoever. This is wrong. It needs to be resisted against, and you have an obligation and a duty to do that. Because if not, you're complacent. But I would be complacent if I continue just doing what I am doing and not saying anything. I've tried to bring things to people's attention, little small things, but it's a system, and I'm a small cog in this whole big machine. But I'm jumping off. No. Come with me. I don't know. I ain't gonna be around for that. That is on y'all. But I can tell you this. There's more good people than bad. Y'all need to figure that shit out real quick, because it's the truth. It is the absolute truth. And if y'all ain't got each other's back, then they're gonna continue to divide and conquer and just sow dissension and everything between people who actually probably make a be out a good ally. But this whole system, this thing that was built on free slave labor, and there's no way this can't implode on itself. We can't continue on it. You won't even give us reparations. That's the thing about it. Y'all thinking about money. It's about being decent. And people are so busy calling themselves Republicans and Democrats, they don't even just be a decent person anymore. That is sad. This is a sad state of affairs. We're leaving our children, and we wonder why they're wilding out, trying to have augmentation and reassignments at 7, 8 years old. This is preposterous. Absolutely preposterous. And y'all letting them do it like it's cool. Because you want to be able to get away with yours and be like, oh, well, they're doing that. No, I'm not doing that anymore. So, with that said, no sense in griping unless you actually have some things that you can think that they could probably be fixed. There needs to be more civilian oversight, like an advisory committee. I think they need to have term limits, whether they be appointed or elected, a certain amount of hours for being in a ride-along required. Scenario familiarization, put them through scenarios, because the general public doesn't know what we go through. This is it. That night I described to you, that was a bad night for me. That was a bad night for me, just to carry on this. But I processed it. Police officers are exposed to the debris in the bottom rung of society, and then they're expected to keep a stiff chin. It's not affecting them. It is affecting your psyche. I'm telling you it is. You cannot be exposed to that and not expect it to manifest itself in some way. Nobody calls the police when they're having a good day. It's the truth, right? Domestics got robbed, something like that. Sometimes you need somebody in a uniform. Your bad day, that might be the first call on my shift that I'm about to have another maybe half a dozen of those. And I'm lucky if they're not as severe as this one. It might be worse. Anyway, so I think it needs to be, along with this committee, they need to have standardized training, whether that be an abbreviated type of academy, but they need to be familiar with procedures. And they need to be familiar with statutes as per specific state. But this is what I'm saying, this needs to happen. It needs to almost be based like how everybody was doing their own thing for training before the San Jose model came out. It needs to be structured like that, and it needs to be recognized accordingly across the board. Mental health and wellness, they definitely need that. Look, we need, I don't know how we're going to do it. We get people get one psyche eval or just checkup, and that's in the hiring process. And some people have squeaked through, because I know some cops that should not be cops, honestly. I don't think they have the makeup for it. And they're going to say, oh, he did. No, this not even night and day. Whether it be, I don't think annual is good, because a lot can happen in a year, whether that be semi-annual or quarterly. It needs to happen. And it's in the stigma that is surrounding it needs to be lifted too, because that is insane. We need help. People need help. It is okay to say you need help. You get exposed to a lot going through life. But only life matters. That's it. You get exposed to a lot. I understand it. I've been exposed to a lot. Peer evaluations, and that's not something as far as the along the lines of trying to be vindictive, but kind of the maybe anonymous red card, blue card thing like we had in going through the selection. More transparency. I understand certain things can't be divulged, but the public doesn't trust us. We are losing the public's trust. We are losing the public's trust. We serve at the pleasure of the public. You lose that, you lose your right and authority to govern. And that is happening. You can't do wicked stuff and you be like, okay, well, cool, we're just doing our jobs. Who are you doing your job for? That's not doing your job. That's a cop-out. That is a cop-out. This is something for me, I thought would be better just to add in development and expansion of an Explorer type program. I know they've had it before, but kids say they want to be cops, but we're not giving them a reason to do it. And we need to foster more mentorship, and it needs to be more of some kind of a program to help kids stay on it, scare straight. Let's bring that back. Let them see what it's like, but also give them a healthy option. Just get them out of their normal hoods or whatever it is. They don't know what else is out there. What we're showing them is the only option we're giving. And then what do you expect? Listen, I'm wrapping it up because I've rambled way too long. Didn't even touch on half the stuff I wanted to, but yeah, this needs to stop. This needs to stop. This is not protesting against police brutality and everything else that comes along with it in this broken, wicked, worldly system that does not give a damn about people. I don't know what it cares about, but it don't care about us. It truly don't. It does not. does not. So I hope y'all do something with that. And let it not have... No, there's no way that this and the people who have been in touch with me this past week and all this stuff, it has been confirmation that this is, I mean, it can't. There's no other way that this is possibly supposed to not happen. It is. It was preordained for this to happen. Regardless of what you may think, and that's on you. I know what I gotta do. Search your heart, find out what you gotta do. Everybody has a different role to play. This part, this one, this is mine.
All right, yeah, they in here trying to lag me up. You know they gonna do that because they seen one of theirs, right? Now remember I was talking about tragic mulatto, right? Remember what I talked about and all that, right? That there was Clyde Kerr the third, right? You know, you heard about him, right? He was that Lafayette Parish Sheriff officer. What you seen in that video was his final words. He was a father, he was a military veteran, he's about 43 years old. Accordingly, this video was pertaining to about police brutality against black people. Talking about the mental health needs in policing and divisions in society and the children exposure to murder, violence, and negative trauma influences, and you know, and how his struggle to reconcile his identity as a black man. Now, see, some of y'all may not didn't know this though, right? So what was he struggling with his identity about? Now, you know, he is the third. His name is Clyde Kerr the third, which means he is a three-line grandfather, father, and then him, right? But I had did some research and I found out that his father, if his family should happen run across this, and I might be wrong, I apologize, but based on my research I seen that Clyde Kerr had a white father, okay? So he had a black mother, but you see he was talking about being black, right? And his father and grandfather was into music. I think it's his father was a musician, a famous musician. But you know, kind of like when you look at Herschel Walker, how he excelled in sports, but then his son is not going to carry the same torch like him because he didn't get that gift, right? Sometimes it passes and sometimes it don't. A lot of times we see people who are exceptional and some odd reason lately in this more modern time, it hasn't passed to the next, seed. So we see people, let's say, for instance, like you say, Walter Payton, you see his son, he can't play football. You see Magic Johnson, his son, he can't play no basketball, play other kind of balls, but you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, right, so sometimes it don't pass. And so in this case, being in Lafayette Parish, which is in Louisiana, there's something in Louisiana that I want to show y'all something about, because remember I was talking about with Kiki Wyatt and about being biracial and the tragic mulatto. Now, that may pertain to a lot of people, some people who may be hearing me, because, as Kiki said, well, as biracials, we have it hard here, right? We have it real hard because no one likes us, right? So I had seen an article that talked about this, and I was like, oh, really? It's serious, huh? It's really serious when you think about it, because you know, those who are considered two-parent, right? Then when you have the bi-parents, and so the problem is, how do you look at this one drop, this whole one drop rule business? I had did a video some years back. This one won't be, I mean, this video I'm finna show, well, I'm gonna give you this clip. In this clip, I want y'all to pay attention to what these little sisters, I'm gonna call them little sisters, because they're gonna give you some truth. But as you heard Kiki say, and then you see my man here who took his life. Now, before I even go in there, think about that. Okay, he's gonna take his life because the brutality by police officers and what was doing wrong by black people. And he was against it, but he's gonna take his own life. Why would you do that? It'd been different if you'd been like, what was his name? Dorner. Remember him? Dorner. I did that story. Well, they hid the hell out that video. What's his name? Rambro. Something Dorner. I forgot his first name. But that brother, he snapped. He did the same kind of thing and went out there and they had to blow him up, basically, right? And this cat, he just went there, went back in front of the police station and, he killed himself, right? We had to ask yourself, well, okay, what was the sacrifice? Is this to put yourself in light because your father had been kind of maybe, sometimes children want to idolize those who they look up to. And if they especially, they should be somebody who in the limelight, like some of these people that they put before us, sometimes you can't fill those shoes. So you need to find you something that's going to elevate you and make your name memorable. Is that what he did? Right? Is that what he did? That's kind of like a tragedy because you couldn't fit in no other way, so you maybe did it. Again, I'm only making an assessment. I'm not saying that's what he did, but I'm just assessing and looking at it like, well, is that what it was? Because I understand the totality of why you would do such a thing. But I had seen this article talking about the one-drop rule persists, and I want y'all to hear this as I go over this with you. Like, it's talking about this one-drop rule, and it says assigning minority status to mixed race individuals appear to live on in our modern-day perception. And the categorization of people like Barack Obama, Tiger Woods, and Halle Berry. A Harvard University psychologist, he said, we still see trends of biracials not as equal members of both parent groups, right? So the biracial has a tug of war, not quite black enough and not quite white enough, so that leaves them in the middle, right? Leaving somebody susceptible to be not liked. I think the scripture talking about you can't love two masters, right? You're going to love one and hate the other one, love the other one, right? Now we understand human and people say love and all that other stuff. But when you live in this construct we live in, this dynamic we live in, this United States, to be forced in a group you don't want to be in, you can have animosity towards them. And it be showing, like going back to when we watched that Kiki Wyatt business, right? If you see somebody who has a white mother, but, saying things that you claiming, but you're saying all these negativity things, and it's like, where it's coming from, right? And people like that and so forth, right? So I want y'all, before I'm going more to this one drop business, because I don't even need to do this. I'm going to let you hear it directly from some people who are who going to tell you that nobody else going to ever tell you. No one will never tell you what they about to say. I had already did this video some years back, but I'm going to re-bring it and just give you the gist of what they said, so that for those who never heard this and who might be thinking just like them. And remember when Herschel Walker was sitting in there and he talking about why black people don't need to get reparations and putting the blame that it's us that's making white people feel guilty, and not understanding that all the dynamics and schemes and machinations that have been laid upon many peoples, that this is what they create, right? So let me let you hear this, man. Let you see this. You ain't even gonna hear this. You're gonna see this. All right, check this out. I'll be right back, y'all.
You think the black and white are neither? My mother is white and my father is black.
His father was a black man from Kenya. His mother, a white woman from Kansas.
My father is Jewish. That's my religion. But my race, I'm black.
I created of my mother and my father, and it seems odd for me to choose.
My mother is white and Jewish, and my father is black.
Once you have black in you, you're black.
And what? What? Why? You have lots of questions because you can't look at me and say, oh, she's definitely black, or oh, she's definitely white, or she's definitely Hispanic.
My mom tells me this. I mean, I don't remember, but she had to sit me down and explain to me. No. She did it with coloring crayons, actually. She said, here's brown, and here's white, or here's, peach color. She would color one and color that, and she's like, this is you.
People of mixed race in particular tend to be conflicted in this society in terms of how they should identify, because society wants to impose one particular identification on them. But quite often what they see in the mirror or in their household, their extended family, contradicts that.
You sick fucking country make the black man hate himself.
You do not describe yourself as a black president, but that's the way you're described. Your mother was white. Why would it be helpful, or why don't you say, I'm not a black president, I'm biracial?
Well, when I was young and going through the identity crises that any teenager goes through.
Well, why don't you say, I'm not a black president, I'm biracial?
Well, when I was young and going through the identity crises that any teenager goes through.
You do not describe yourself as a black president, but that's the way you're described. Your mother was white. Why would it be helpful, or why don't you say, I'm not a black president, I'm biracial?
Well, when I was young and if the world saw me as African American, then that wasn't something that I needed to run away from. That's something that I could go ahead and embrace. And the interesting thing about the African American experience in this country is that we are sort of a mongrel people. I mean, we're all kind of mixed up. That's actually true for white America as well, but we just know more about it. And if we're treating each other right, then I can be African American, I can be multiracial, I can be, you name it.
Here's the sort of gangster, because this is a gangster story, but a gangster with a difference, because this is a gangster with a conscience.
This is too much for me. I mean, the black man in America is the most copied man on this planet, bar none. Everybody want to be a nigga, but nobody want to be a nigga. How about that question?
But it's like saying, a tiny man cannot out-height the tall man. It's impossible.
So we just wanted to address a lot of the questions that I was getting today.
I look significantly whiter than you right now. I look significantly whiter than you right now. I look significantly whiter than you right now. Okay, so we've gotten millions of questions, obviously, over the past little while about us being biracial. So we just wanted to go into it and dispel a lot of notions that people have. First of all, there's no such thing as white culture. There's North American culture, there's European culture, but there's no such thing as white culture.
And you can't embrace white culture because it does not exist.
And all of the things that you think when you say, embracing white culture, those are Eurocentric ideals of wealth and superiority and Americanism, and they're things that usually people of color invented and that you're now taking. So like, oh, I'm British, I drink tea. Well, you took that from China. So it's not like all of the things that are white culture are actually just stolen things from people of color. So technically, there's no way we can embrace our white culture in that sense.
And also, there's no way that we can embrace white culture in the sense of identifying as white as well. Like, yes, I can say that I'm biracial because that's what we are. We are a mix of two races.
But there's no possible way for us to identify as white. Because, for example, we spent our entire lives up until very recently trying to identify as white. For example, we spent our entire lives up until very recently trying to identify as white. For example, we spent our entire lives up until very recently trying to identify as white.
For example, we spent our entire lives up until very recently
tried to snuff out everything black about us as much as possible. Tried to snuff out everything black about us as much as possible. Tried to snuff out everything black about us as much as possible.
Tried to snuff out everything black about us as much as possible.
And the white community not only ostracized us for trying to be white, they told us that there's no possible way we could be white. The white community not only ostracized us for trying to be white, they told us that there's no possible way we could be white. The white community not only ostracized us for trying to be white, they told us that there's no possible way we could be white.
And the white community not only ostracized us for trying to be white, they told us that there's no possible way we could be white.
The white people invented the one-drop rule, so I mean, there's no possible way. And on top of them saying like, no, you are not white, you are not one of us, you are other, they also laughed at us for wanting to be white. So, even if we tried, which we have, there's no possible way for us to identify as white. The white people invented the one-drop rule, so I mean, there's no possible way. And on top of them saying like, no, you are not white, you are not one of us, you are other, they also laughed at us for wanting to be white. So, even if we tried, which we have, there's no possible way for us to identify as white. The white people invented the one-drop rule, so I mean, there's no possible way. And on top of them saying like, no, you are not white, you are not one of us, you are other, they also laughed at us for wanting to be white. So, even if we tried, which we have, there's no possible way for us to identify as white.
The white people invented the one-drop rule, so I mean, there's no possible way. And on top of them saying like, no, you are not white, you are not one of us, you are other, they also laughed at us for wanting to be white.
Third of all, we are half Finnish. Half white. I'm half Finnish. My mother is Finnish. My mother's family is Finnish. We identify as part Finnish very much. We
embrace Finnish culture as much as possible,
just as much as we embrace our Jamaican culture, in terms of nationality rather than race. However, because of the way white superiority and white supremacy has dictated races, we have to embrace our black culture, and we've learned to embrace it and love it and thrive in it. So, I mean, to ask us if we pick or choose or even like balance it, well, there's no such thing.
Even saying you don't have to pick and choose, like, don't just identify as black, you should also identify as white.
That's impossible.
You can't do that, because literally,
the minute you are not white, you are other.
You are other. And, like, there's no way that either of us or any other biracial person who has any kind of white in that can
identify as white. Sure, I can say that my mother is white, and it's true, but that does not translate to us. It doesn't translate to us because our father's black, and so that makes us black. And there's no way for us to embrace being white because we're not white. Exactly. And if you try to embrace being white and you're not only are you going to feel so confused because you're fighting the facts, but there's nothing about the black or the white community that will ever accept that. Yeah. There's no part of whiteness that will accept you're identifying as white if you are not. So, yes, we identify as half Finnish and half Jamaican because that is exactly what we are, and we embrace both sides of those cultures as warmly as we possibly can. But there's no way, like, and one person said, oh, your followers might get confused and think you're a racist because you only identify.
Once and for all, you literally cannot be racist to white people. Racism is not hurt feelings. Racism is not race hate. Racism is based on a based on a institutionalized system of oppression based on one group having the power oppressing another group. The disenfranchised group will never have the power and cannot oppress the powerful group. It's physically impossible. I don't know what other words I can use. Once and for all, you literally cannot be racist to white people. Racism is not hurt feelings. Racism is not race hate. Racism is based on a based on a institutionalized system of oppression based on one group having the power oppressing another group. The disenfranchised group will never have the power and cannot oppress the powerful group. It's physically impossible. I don't know what other words I can use.
Once and for all, you literally cannot be racist to white people. Racism is not hurt feelings. Racism is not race hate. Racism is based on a institutionalized system of oppression based on one group having the power oppressing another group. The disenfranchised group will never have the power and cannot oppress the powerful group. It's physically impossible. I don't know what other words I can use.
We verbally would identify as white, mentally identify as white, verbally would identify as white, mentally identify as white, and we verbally would identify as white, mentally identify as white, and
verbally would identify as white, mentally identify as white. So, even if we try, which we have, there's no possible way for us to identify as.
All right, so we are back, right? So you see what those little sisters said right there, right? No, y'all again. So going back to that Kiki Wyatt, right? She told you what many of them would never tell you, right? That people who are biracial are going through some things, man. But they put the blame on us, right? Like, go back to Kiki, what she said. She was talking about something. We biracial, well, we okay. But, you know, everybody in our group, everybody get forced in our group, so, you know, we got to always welcome, but, you know, we have our own rituals of things that we do that if you're in our group, we just go through. There's some rituals we do. You know, we may talk shit and, you know, all kinds of shit. That's just what we do. But you don't partake. You got to get a thick skin. We all had to get a thick skin, right? But this just shows that dynamic of this white supremacy and this whole thing about whiteness and this construct and stuff and how it permeates psychologically on people in ways that you don't really understand. But as our group, we have to take and embrace all that. We have to take the ones that's like us, who got problems with self, who speak on against us. We have people who come from across the water that come here, who look like us, but then they don't want to identify also with us. Then we have the ones of the relationship that have half and half. And look, you understand? Everybody want to bury us. No, everybody wants to bury us. You know? I mean, I don't think I even need to go no more because I had another one that I was going to show you where there was a white woman. Yeah, so what you talking about? This, let me show you something. I ain't gonna go through it. Maybe y'all do. I ain't even looked out in the crowd. I ain't even look out there. But let me see something. Let me see if I got that. Let's see. I want y'all to see this because this was actually a real case. This was actually a real case. Let's see. I didn't even do that, did I? Okay. If I show you this picture here, let's see, should I show it? Okay. Huh? Is that a white woman? Is that a white woman? Hmm? You would say that's a white woman, wouldn't you? What do you say that's a white woman? Right? So the reason why I'm doing this and talking about the burying, because see, you got people, see, we're taking a fight from so many different angles because some, you know, again, like Herschel Walker was talking about taking a DNA test to see who is black. Do you really need to do that? In this case, you just might, and matter of fact, that's what happened, right? Let me show you this too, right? Let me see. She'll go there. Yeah, because this was actually a case, and it was about Negro blood law was upheld. The Negro blood. You seen that woman right there, right? This was a real live case that happened back in, I think it was in the 80s, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was back in the 80s. And her name was Suey Phipps. That was her name, right? That was that woman you seen in there. I got some more pictures of her. Right? And they said that that's a black woman. She said she never was black. She was raised white. She had married twice to two white men, had children. They probably white, right? She said her grandchildren are white. Her mommy and daddy were buried white. She said buried white. Social Security card said she's white. I don't know if you got any kind of race on your Social Security card, but according to her, she said a driver's license says she's white. She said there are no blacks out there where she live at. She's from Louisiana. Kind of like the other one, the brother from Lafayette, right? That's come from a white father who was prominent, trying to fit in and can't fit in, trying to make a name, trying to be an outstanding citizen, and end up being tragically doing something. I don't know if that was martyrdom or, you know, making a name. I don't know, right? But according to this Phipps, She at first got her birth certificate like 6 years from the time that I'm talking about. And what happened, how this all came about, is that they was on their way. They was going to go to some trip somewhere. I think they was going to get a passport. And her husband, he's supposed to be a wealthy seafood distributor, and he wanted to take her to South Africa or South America. And so when she seen her birth certificate, right, she said she felt sick. So she canceled the trip with her husband because she was afraid to tell her what she found on her birth certificate. Now, wait a minute. It took for your birth certificate to find out that, let's go back again. Wait, let's get a good look at it. Again, go back and go again. Hold on, go back, take that out. Yeah, pull that up for me, sir. You can go that one. Yeah, try that one too. No, not that one. No, back to her. Okay, go to that one. Okay. Now, that's her going to court. You see her and her husband? Them white people? Again, that's her again, right? Huh? That's a white woman to y'all? So it looks like that she had paid about $20,000 to try to get her records changed. She went and got a lawyer, tried to get all this settled out before her husband would even find out. Total cost was about $49,000 according to what they said. But when her husband found out, he said, well, it didn't bother me at all, doesn't mean that I'll just jump up and marry a black woman. And you see, he didn't even look at her as a black woman. But do you see a black woman right there? Is that a black woman y'all see? Now, I want y'all to understand this because as earlier we talked about with this thing, with this reparations, understand this. Now, remember we've seen Kiki Wyatt and she's having, but here's somebody who's been denying who they are. But when they go into the records, they're going to be somebody entirely different. So, accordingly, he was like, in his eyes, she's white. And she's not black. Right? And if he doesn't look black, then what's the problem? That's what he's saying. But Louisiana law, the birth certificate cannot be altered unless evidence leaves no room for doubt of your racial heritage. Okay, this Jack, I think it was Westhoff, he said it was a terrible law. That's something. It's a terrible law because it doesn't fit, does not fit what you want. So her lawyer was trying to get the judge to throw this out. And he was saying, well, wait a minute. If this was a murder charge, the standards of evidence would be nowhere near as strict. They say it's stricter with this racial thing than it is with it being for murder. Now, why are y'all trying to hold her when you can look at her and see this is a white woman? Okay? So what they did is they end up spending $5,100 to track down her roots. So a genealogist traced her ancestors, went back 223 years. Listen to what I'm saying. They went back 223 years to find out why did they make this woman black on a birth certificate that clearly she looks like, some people say she like a white woman. Right? But they traced her ancestors that they found in her. There was a black mistress back on the Mobile Plantation back in 1760. And then they looked at some of her more recent ancestors that had what they said some black blood. Some black blood. So when they got through, the genealogist he calculated that, came into about 3/32 black. 3 30-second black, huh? Know what that means? So 32, I would believe that 32 would be about what, 5 generations? So you got, right, about 5 generations, because it's like mother, father, then your mother and father got a mother and father, right? Right? And then they got mother, father from each of them, so it gets into 32. So it'll take about 5 generations, right? So they went back about 5 generations and come to find out about 3 of them lines, you have some black in you. In Louisiana, hey, you black. I want y'all to hear this now. There's a reason I'm telling you this. It comes down to getting some money. People been claiming something, but when it comes to this money, you hear me? Are you understanding me? All right, so enough. They said now that 3 30-second was enough to make her black under Louisiana law, which considers a person to be black if they got 1 30-second. She had 3 30-seconds. What I mean, they just have to have 1. Remember those girls were sitting there telling you, it was like they tried. They even tried to be mentally white. They even tried to talk white, but they could not be accepted, and the people that they was even related to laughed at them. Oh, y'all can't be white. I mean, what? Huh? But everybody mad at us because we talk about how the game you playing and what you doing on everybody and fucking everybody mind up, right? Something wrong with us though. But this y'all game, right? So according says if one great-great-great-grandparent had 2 all-black parents of African ancestry, no other state has such a racial classification law, right? So they want you to be the whitest of white in Louisiana. But this had been all around. But in Louisiana, this particular individual here, this woman here, right? Right? And so said a midwife, who's the one that filled out her paperwork, marked her as colored when she was a baby, right? Now, I don't know, did one of the parents that had, they saying they didn't say exactly who. So they tracked down several of her cousins around the town where she was raised, right? They went back, found the baptism records, traced the brothers and sisters. They all was marked colored. So the hospital to accept the parents' word for race, right? So in recording birth today, right, you just take the words of the parents. Now they said all states require racial data at birth for statistical purposes like monitoring population migration, disease fertility, and among racial groups, right? That's what they do. But they were being more specific at this particular time, right? She said if her mother says she's green, we put down green on the birth certificate, right? We have no other way of checking to verify it. So when you in the hospital and you people in there and they putting down they white, but they gonna pretty soon gonna go check these backgrounds. When it come to this money, y'all, if it ever should get down to some checks cutting, people gonna start using this. Remember, you heard it here first, right? You heard it here. When it get down to that cash, when they start cutting some check, ever get to that point, they gonna start going back and want to find that 1 30-second so they can get qualified for some cash, right? See, what Paul wants to say, everybody want to be a nigga, but nobody want to be a nigga. But if it's beneficial, I think everybody want a little cut in that, right? So in 1970, Louisiana defined everyone with a trace of black ancestry as black. And they called it the compromise and adopted the 1 30-second rule. 1 30-second black blood. So see how you complicate we as black Americans. You make it extremely hard. You throw all the stuff you don't want, all the stuff that don't want us. You got all that in that group. Now, the point is, see, all that does is do what? It buries us. You get what I'm saying? And then you compound it on by bringing, now again, we're not against people out in the cold, need something to eat, need a place to lay. Come on here, lay you down here, let me help you here, get some soup or whatever. We ain't got a problem with that. But as I said, the Big Mama house is feeding everybody on the block, but home children can't eat. Is it me, or is it just naturally that would be a problem for anybody? This ain't just a black problem. This is just a problem for anybody, right? So, burying, right? And then I was looking earlier today, talking about 11 million to 13 million people that have been here before January 1st. So now they're going to give them 8 years to become a citizen. Damn, ain't no jobs right now for a lot of people right now. So what's the game here really about, right? Is this our replacement? Somebody got something going down that they trying to do? You tell me, man. That's how it look and feel to me. See, we got all these people in our group and everybody just really begrudgingly want to be amongst you because they got no other place to fit. So they vibe and trying to get a place because they can't go back to where they were because they don't want to go there because we don't really know the true background of many people, why they left and where they left. Well, everybody tell us they come from a better life. Well, shit, where do we go for a better life? Nobody got no place open for us, even on the continent. Or if you ain't got no money, you can't come. We don't want you here if you ain't got no money. Ain't that something? I thought we was family. I thought we was the prodigal son. Ain't none of that, huh? So we just kind of like, the wonder. I think I remember reading about the wandering Jew, right? The wandering Jew. They're trying to make us the wandering Jew. Now we're just gonna be moving around with no place to go, and everybody happy because we all fucked up. So hey, why don't you just take this, make it easier for you? Take this. We're all concerned that you guys. That's what makes us so. I can't really say what I want to say. Right? Not that I'm scared to say. Can't say because that'd be the end of the show. But ain't there something? People who ain't been doing us right all this damn time. But we so concerned about your health. Cheese on the trap. You know what I'm saying? Cheese on the trap. Well, water barriers. Is there a war? Is there really a war to bury the the American blacks? It kind of seems that way. Those different scenarios that I praised tonight, you had the immigrant who come here mad because you say, well, we want to talk about American issues and talk about the blacks, but I don't think you have the Akashic records of this land, nor the history and the knowledge to speak, maybe generalizing it, but you can't get in depth. So that's what makes a person who comes from somewhere else talking on behalf of the black American, not if you as a Nigerian American, that's y'all business. You can talk about that all day long. You don't see black Americans going in other people's places doing that. I think that, what was her name? Art Cathy, I think it was. She was over there doing it over there in Ghana, Gambia, or something like that. And they ran her ass up out of there, didn't they? Right? And all she was doing, she was telling her truth from what she was saying, but they didn't like that. They said, nah, you got to get up out of here. But when we start saying, hell, hold on, why y'all in here not talking like that to us, man? Slow that up. Then everybody, we divisive and we wrong, and really they try to say, y'all ain't got nothing because, masters gave us power over y'all. And that's why y'all be acting. So it's really disrespectful, right? And then we have people who are even cut like us and get in positions that's supposed to be advocating but seem to be against. And they do it with just a straight face, serious and saying things and on behalf of us like, well, wait a minute, what about all that? Forget about all that. I'm good down. What about the rest of you? That's your problem, right? Then you get the people who are birthed from relationships of half and then how they be acting, right? And then they got their own issues. So all this is in our group. You throw all this in our group. So you know what we have to do, y'all. We have to do some cleaning. We have to make some inroads, not because we're trying to be separate, inventory. They used to do inventory at the beginning of the year, January, February, to be stores do the inventory, right? We got to take inventory, right? As the beginning, remember said George Bush, September 20th, 2001, said, hey, if you ain't for us, you against us. It is what it is, right? So anyway, I didn't mean to make this as long as I did. Look like they done disabled my chat. Is that what happened? They disabled my damn chat. I was up in here. This 2 hours, huh? It ain't. Am I still on? They done froze my whole chat up, huh? Hold on. Let me see something. I see the lights up in here. I see the numbers up in here. They're still showing that back from there. So I'm not sure what's going on, y'all, because they've been froze up. I can't see if anything up in the chat room. So I want to thank each and every one of y'all who was here. I can't even see what was in the chat room because they froze all that up. I'm just hoping that the whole show has gone ahead and played. If they don't knock me out again, I shall return. But, this is the most hated show in the black corner of the internet. Have been for the going on 9 years. I had most suspension and bans for a person who can't get no views, other than when I used to get 30, 50,000, but they was like, no, not you, no more for you. So we're just gonna keep it going. I'm looking here, I think I can see Yair Kabir, 1760, peace, hey, what's up, fam? Wow, buffering. Don't know when I was buffering, Sharon Washington, if you should still be in the house, sister. But shalom to you as well. Where was he the last 40 years? You must be talking about Herschel Walker, huh? No. Ms. J, Dr. King also said that the black man language in his own land, language in his own land. In other words, he's suffering at home on his own land. Everybody else is enjoying our land but us. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The truth is, everybody wants to tell us the story they want to tell us, but the truth of the matter is, this has to be our own land. Where else our land gonna be? You want to tell us, again, early in the show, I talked about the true Negro and it came out of that C.G. Sigelman. But you see, he was crazy enough talking about the Hamites were Caucasians, right? He said that. Now, again, whether that's true or not, they dispelled it in the 60s. But it makes sense then when you talk about Ham turning black. Because if you already black, you can't turn black, right? So just like putting your hand in your bosom and your bosom come out white means that what was your color before you took your hand out and your hand had a color. You get what I'm saying? So, somebody else got to tampering and touching with stuff. So they pros and start writing their own stuff, but they might have told on themselves. He said that the Hamites were Caucasians. So was that when the Caucasians was coming in? And, one thing led to another. And turning black would be kind of like being biracialized, if that's a word, right? You got biracialized. And then you stayed that and you been this, and they said, oh, he turned black. He got cursed, right? The white turned black. Might be them people who've been saying that the time be like us, talking about they ish, right? The ish people, right? Maybe it was them, right? They're kind of funny looking, but anyway. So anyway, y'all, let me go ahead and get up out of here. I did 2 hours. They let me back in. What's up, Metasimpaklos. Plokos. God damn, what? Metasimpaklos. I say that 5 times, right? What's good, my brother? Hey, I see you still in the house. Was peace and good to you as well. Now, I wanted to put this together because, again, over the ban period and then when I was trying to get back in, I just seen so much. There was like people who just hating on us. Like, damn. I don't understand that. It's like, man, you taking advantage of a situation. It's like somebody taking advantage. You should be quiet. But it's because the people who, let's say, managing and running it, you cool with them. And so they allow you to get away with shit because they got problems with us. And so since you cool with them, you think that you can get away with shit too, and we ain't supposed to say nothing, which we don't. Many of us don't say nothing. And, you know, but we're just like them. It's like everybody got a problem. But then when we call them out, then they want to apologize. Oh, I didn't mean that. It was, no, you said what you meant. You did what you did. Right? So, yeah, it may be hard for you being split, but we didn't create that. That's the whole thing. So one time, it's not all about being black. The Jewish people were, and everybody else was oppressed. Why are you? Are they in the house? Are they in here talking with us? You claiming to be one of us? Why are you bringing? It's messed up, man. It's really messed up. And we got to find some way to try to. Again, we got to make some clean. We got to clean it up. You know, I mean, especially at this period of time when we at right now. I mean, I don't even know if we, you know, you got outages, and from I think you got Oregon, they got outages, and Texas, they got outages. I think Louisiana, they got outages, right? And some people on the underground saying certain things with these outages, and you got snow that can't melt, and you know what I'm saying? And if you look at it, it's snowed all around the country except for a certain part in the middle. Go look at the map. It snowed all around except for certain parts in the middle. Have you ever seen that before? Like they told the story, you know, like in the Bible said that the whole world flooded. Now, you could be in, let's say, Texas, it's raining, but you may be in Louisiana, it's not raining. Or you could be in North Dakota or South Dakota and be in New York and rain there, but ain't rain. But the all raining? Damn, I ain't never seen that one before. That's like this snow business. The whole country snowed? Where does this come from? Some people say it's man-made. Could be. But they said it was going to be, what they call the dark winter, right? Now, that dark always being black when they come out of their mouth, right? So anyway, you ain't heard me say nothing. But I want to appreciate each and every one of you. Let me go down this list in here. I'm sorry I didn't go ahead and look at here because it froze up the whole damn time. And my partner in there, Metasimplacos. Hope I'm saying that right, brother. I said that one. Metasimplacos. Sharon Washington, what's good, sister? Yahya Abdul Kabir Bey, Ms. J. Look like that's about it. I had more people up in here. I know that with the brother with the got Cancel Humanity. He was up in here too, right? I know that one with the brother that ended up offering himself when they're talking about the tragic mulatto. Again, I'm trying to make some sense of that. You know, it doesn't make no sense, but maybe it has something to do again with the tragic mulatto. When you can't fit in. You heard what them sisters say. They did everything. So, you know, it's like being in a relationship with somebody don't want you no more, but you still want them. Have you ever been in that position? I'm just saying if you ever been in that, but, you know, treat you all dirty, all kind of ways, you know, just so you could just be around them. Right? And we got some people who stick with that. They'll do anything, huh? And then sometimes what they do is they use those people. They'll take them, right, and utilize the simple fact that they want to be such up under them that they have jobs for them, and then they get up amongst us, and then they cause disruption and destruction. And they be wondering why we can't get unified, because they up on us. They all in us, right? Because what happened is we done got to everything in my kin is my skin. So we're going to have to start doing some vetting in some way in these relationships. And I have to be, I'm just saying, in your personal relationship, maybe you're going to have to do some vetting, which is just basically asking people who they are. Where your people from? Where your mama from? Where your daddy from? Right? When people want to be, you know, they don't want to divulge any of that to you, that should give you a sign. Oh, okay. All right. Like you can do research on people and come to find out, try to look at their background, they be starting to hide stuff. Like when I was trying to do Wesley Snipes. I was like, shit, you know, I did his children with him, and his children more Asian than they look like him. And, you know, Wesley got a lot of melanin in him. So I'm like, well, damn, it didn't transfer to the kids, none of it, you know. So it's like, how her genes stronger than your genes? Then I was like, well, maybe he ain't is what I think he is. Maybe he's something else. You know what I'm saying? And it reflects that when you, I mean, I had the video that did that, but you could see that. But it's not about that. It's just the fact that I'm saying we as black Americans in this country are being bared by everybody else. We can see how they started up with these legislations. I seen this thing on immigration earlier today. They were sitting there having some kind of another Zoom conference. And it's everybody's just vibing and getting ape shot. And it's like, where are we at in the talk? Like, where I cut it? So I guess we're just going to have to prepare, right? So, again, hopefully I can get back in on the next show. If they don't do nothing, knock me out. I got IC3 Black Banking. It says hashtag Black Bank for reparations. 1, it says clarify black identity. 2, to organize effectively. 3, step the most powerful black organization is Black Bank Reparations, organizing for reparations. Everything you say is good, brother, but my thing is, I think it's a little easier to galvanize on these social medias, but when we talk about, in person, in reality, you know how hard that is. And then you have to worry about what? Organizing is always a great thing, but anytime we start talking organizing, you know what's going to happen. I mean, shit, they just showed you the Fred Hampton story, right? What was Fred Hampton doing that was really so dangerous? Other than the fact, but making people aware and so forth. So somebody don't want that. The whole opposition is to do that, right? But I hear what you're saying. But how do you get that done? Yeah, it's one thing we on here, we talk about certain things, but there's some things that can't be, put in the air like that. Not saying what you said, but I'm just saying that need to be done. And that's the thing. Based on our history and how people have gotten us out of the loop for as long as they got, and then when they start to let us get in, you start flooding, others to compete. So we never really got a good foothold, and then you still was keeping us out, and then created a havoc by, we got the drug game, and then we got the gang, and then we, a whole bunch of other stuff and it just finally get to a point now. But then look what done happened. See, just look at for the last 2-3 years. We was making a momentum. We was talking about getting our business together. We was trying to do all this stuff, getting the reparation talk. We talking about building black media. And whammo, COVID came. Y'all ain't peeped that? Like, we was on the move from saying, like, and then, we was talking about a lot of stuff, what would be considered black empowerment. And then all of a sudden, just whammo, the whole game just done changed. Huh? Still trying to people recoup. A lot of people done left the planet, you know what I'm saying? So we still leaving the planet. We still got plans, right? We don't know what's going on with all these allergies, right? We won't know these stories till they get relayed. For all we know, a lot of stuff could be going down. We just don't know, right? So, got to stay vigilant and mindful and keep what you believe into your heart, because, they can cut this out at any time. They just showed that shit. When they can do the president of the United States, what the hell you think they can't do to the rest of us? You know what I'm saying? This ain't nothing. Now, whether you for them or not, but I'm just saying, if they can do that, then, seeing everybody think the answer is just, we could just get our own. Well, where you going to get it from? Right? Until somebody can just build on scratch without have to go to somebody and just do it, and it can facilitate it. I remember this one brother that was out here that was trying to build a social media platform. I remember when he was out here campaigning doing it. But whatever happened to that? I know he had got it up and then had some bugs in it, and then I didn't hear no more about it. Whatever happened to that? Anybody know what I'm talking about? There was a new social media site they were going to be up for just for our kind of content and what we talk about, and then it just went away. He built it up, got it going, and boom, it was gone. So it's like, we can say what we want, But in actuality, man, it's you know, a little bit harder. And then we got the African Americans. Right? The African Americans don't like too much the blacks. Don't tell what they say. You know what I'm saying? They'll be telling you, oh, it's a waste of time for y'all sitting there trying to do this and this and that. Okay? Because they in somebody else's pocket. And they hold jobs, again, to protect the earned. So, anyway, man, that's going to be it for tonight. Appreciate each and every one of y'all. Hopefully I can get back in again on tomorrow's show. I didn't want to tell the hand, but I did it. But I'll try to get it in. The only reason why I don't, because they be doing stuff. So, to each and every one of y'all, man, you know how it is. To the next show, y'all. To the next. To the next show, sir. Yeah, just do the next show. We ain't gotta do that one. Peace, y'all.